good morning, and welcome to the land of sea and sun, lovely Antigua and Barbuda. And we're here at the Antigua Recreation Ground for day 4 of the Cricket West Indies Championship 2026. This match between the Guyana Harpy Eagles and the West Indies Academy. It has certainly proved to be a very thrilling and exciting encounter when you look at the amount of runs that have been scored by both teams. And of course, on the final day, with only one innings complete and the other still yet to be finished, it's very interesting to see if we'll get a result today. But at the same time, we had some interviews with some players of the day from yesterday, Matthew Nandu, Zishan Motara, and we'll take you to those interviews now.
So we're delighted to be with Matthew Nandu once again. After 110 overnight, you went on to score. In fact, it's your best first class score. Reached 200, also having the best knock of the tournament. Tell us what really transpired.
No, it was just to take it one ball at a time and try to go as deep as possible, to be honest. Try and put away the bad balls and respect the good ones and try and go deep as possible.
You also batted a huge partnership, 259 with young Van Land. What was the chemistry like?
To be honest, first time I really bat with him, and as a youngster, he did really well. He batted the situation very well. And, put away the bad balls, he took a lot of the pressure off me, and I must say well played to him.
Young man, you're just 22 years old. You're batted, but you're running between the wicket also. Is a key part of your game. Explain that to us.
Yeah, I worked on my fitness a lot over the past few months, and you know, I think today, yesterday showed it. So yeah, still have room for improvement, but enjoy this one.
Congratulations to you on the feet and all the best in the future.
Thank you.
Well, I'm delighted to be speaking with Jonathan Van Land, the man who scored 100 on his first class debut. What was it like out there?
First of all, just like the John God gave me strength when I was playing this morning. It was, I guess, looking back at how the wicket played in the first innings, it was just about me going and playing myself and back in my way to the score.
You batted well with Matthew Nandu. What was the chemistry like?
Yeah, we played in the same county actually, so we batted 2 times where it was. So it was just basically trying to batch through
a phase in your innings where you were dominating the batters, and then later on you got into the 90s. There seemed to be a growing enthusiasm with the players around you, the players in the field, as though they were doing everything. What was going through your mind between getting 90 to getting 90? Zishan Motara, tall young leg spinner who got a 5-wicket ball right here at the Antigua Recreation Ground. Historic thing. How are you feeling, young man? Well, the team really had their back up against the wall, so to speak. The Guyanese were not giving any opportunity of the fast bowlers were bowling. They were not getting any wickets. Was there any added pressure on you?
Not really. I knew I had a job that was taken against me. I had this discussion prior to the game, and we all know that here at Yaraju, the wicket is very classic. Most classic wicket. And once the ball is tossed, I knew that I had a job to do. And kudos to the fast bowlers as well, because it's not easy on a pitch like this, especially for yeah, kudos to the team.
You also had a little opportunity touring with the West Indies T20 version. What was that experience like? And what has it helped you?
Yeah, it's a great experience. I think what we get into that's something you really want. One thing that taught me is that red ball is really getting the skill. It's very important to play red ball cricket. So that kind of motivated me a bit more to play red ball cricket.
hope red ball cricket is your preference.
Yeah, I mean, any cricket, I'm happy to play any cricket. So, this cricket every day, so pretty happy to play.
Well, congratulations to you and all the best in the future.
Well, there you have it. The interviews from some players of the day from yesterday. The likes of Matthew Nandu getting to his double century, Jonathan Van Lange making his century on debut, and Zishan Motara picking up a 5-wicket haul in what has been a massacre of run scoring here at the Antigua Recreation Ground. Now we take you to the commentary with Dave Joseph and Seth Burton.
Yeah, welcome back to the ARG.
Yes.
As we have heard, lots of runs being scored over the last 3 days. 4 centuries.
That's a lot, Dave.
Yeah, lots of runs. You know, Seth, I enjoy seeing runs scoring. I'm a batsman.
Yes,
by nature.
well, whether you're a batsman or you're a bowler, once you're a cricket fan, you come to a game, you look at the game, you really want to see runs. And I spoke to one of our listeners this morning, our viewers, and he said it's just alarming that a team, the team that is the Guyana team now scoring at over 4 runs per over. And I think that is what spectators, you want to be entertained, you want to see classic cricket, but it looks like classic cricket of old, when batsmen dominated, and they're dominating with confidence and they're looking technically sound.
Yeah, Seth, it's good to see the young batters putting up their hands and scoring runs and big runs. You know, that's all speaks well and goes well for West Indies cricket.
That's right. Really good stuff happening here. And what we're seeing very early, Locknott, the man who is on 71, he is going to face, and your good friend Goodrich is starting from the northern end. Just a slip for Goodrich. Lovely drive. Knocked down a bit, but it would not stop it from the boundary. It's 4 to start the innings. You said welcome this morning to the listeners. Locknott is saying welcome, Mr. Goodrich.
Oh, most definitely. With that stroke, he has gave everybody a good welcome for the start of the last day of this encounter, Seth.
Yes, welcome to the Antigua Recreation Grounds, the home of good run scoring. And it has been a match that has really exceeded our expectation in terms of run scoring and in terms of the fire that we saw from this quartet of fast bowlers assembled by the academy. Good changeover of the strike, but we noted yesterday that even though the Pacers only got 1 wicket, they really had some spells, some impacting spells on this placid pitch. And I think that it has been really good balanced cricket. You may just look at the figures, but again I say you must do the qualitative assessment.
Yeah, I think those guys, they bowled pretty well yesterday. Have kudos goes out to them. They bowling attack for the young academy. And I was having a chat with the coach this morning of the academy, and he alluded to the fact that, you know, they bowled pretty well yesterday. Only thing was wrong was they weren't in the right areas often enough. You know, they managed to keep the Guyana happy because batsmen on the check for quite some time. But that odd delivery or two that was off the stumps and a bit wide, most of them have been put away, Set.
Yes, and that's what good batters do. Put away bad deliveries, also put away good deliveries. And we have seen that. We have been graced with excellent batting. Goodrich, one of those all-rounders who is coming through his maiden first-class 100, and also another Barbadian emerging.
Yeah, I also had a chat with him, Seth. Goodrich this morning.
Beaten by a beautiful delivery. Lover was
that's a good delivery.
Drawn to the front foot, and Goodrich striking a good line just back of the length.
Yeah, that actually nipped back, Set, off the seam.
Yes, and he has that. But speaking of Goodrich, he's a very wonderful character.
Yeah,
when
remember
you speak to him.
yesterday we were talking about he's resembling Milton Smalling somewhat.
Yes.
So I was asking him, if he is anywhere related to Small. He said he's not sure, but he'll do some research.
Yes. Look at this. just outside the off, and it comes back, climbing over the off stump. And he's a wonderful character when you speak to him. Prior to our interview, we were having a little chat, and he really engaged me, and I'm impressed with him because we were just talking about, I told him I would have spent some time in Barbados, and he wanted to get into details, and he, you know, enlightened me with a lot of information outside of cricket. Ooh. This one strikes level. Oh, he doesn't have on any arm guard, Dave. He's walking away because he was not sure whether to duck, and I won't say duck into it because it didn't hit his helmet, but it hit his hand. So these young fast bowlers, and Lovell is a strong guy, but he would be advised to bat with at least an arm guard.
Let's hope he's okay. Said he's been struck, so we haven't seen the physio being called or anything, so I suggest and guess he's okay. He looks to be a tough customer, though.
Yes. Fast bowler to fast bowler. Didn't get up as much as he... Oh, wow, that was in the chest.
I remember the last time I saw Goodrich set, he was much bigger and heavier.
But he has done some chiseling.
He has done some chiseling on his physique. And he's looking in real good order and good shape now for shaping up to be a good fast bowler. And he also does well with the bat to set.
Yes, 5 runs coming off the first over with the bat, certainly. That was the part, not that I'm saying I didn't expect the runs from him, but I didn't expect that many. And especially in the circumstances in which he joined his captain with the score 169 for 6. And it looked as though they could have been blown away for under 200. And he stood there, he stayed there, he batted and he batted, and he has shown that he is really an all-rounder to be reckoned with. Someone I hope can ensure that he goes through. You know, I mentioned about Franklin Stevenson some time ago in our commentary. If you can see a youngster in that vein who can be that pure all-rounder, genuine at bowling, genuine at batting, that would be good. And I saw the reflection of that in Jonathan Van Lang.
Yeah, most definitely. So what I'm pleased about with these guys, as I said, they're so all-round and multifaceted. You see these guys, they've been placed in some close-in fielding position. They're still handling and doing well.
Very good. 660 for 8. Matara, who has 5, comes into play.
Set, you know, normally you see the fast bowlers being, you know, feeling on the boundaries and that sort of stuff, but these guys, they've been thrust into some real close fielding positions and they handle it pretty well.
The academy, I think, has been handled exceptionally. I would just like to give kudos to the head coach and all who are responsible for that. This is a group of youngsters who you really admire. And they look as though they're enjoying the cricket. It's not just commitment, it's not just talent, but they're enjoying the cricket. And part of that enjoyment, I thought, has shown in their game, even when things were tough, even when when you had that Nandu combination along with Van Lang. They stuck through it. They were enjoying it. And Becky Joseph injecting personality into it. The captain going back and forth and even bringing on himself. I think it's a fine bunch. Matara, he knows what it takes. He had an opportunity, that young leg spinner, of touring with the West Indies T20 team to play. He played one game against Nepal when they went to the UAE. Karim Agor had also been in that team when they picked a group of youngsters while the others were on their way to the World T20 World Cup. So he knows what it is to be on the international circuit. On that team, that is the current academy team, he's the only one in this team, I'm looking around, who would have had that international experience. Good delivery. Loud appeal is given. Yeah. Lover goes. Lover looks back. You could tell he loves his batting, as though I don't think that is so, but umpire O'Geese believe that is so. And Matara gets his 6th wicket of the innings. He must be delighted.
Yeah, he has to be delighted. I was just about to mention Seti's on the verge of trying to equal his best bowling figures.
That's right.
7 wickets, so he has the opportunity to do so.
He will get, if he gets 7, I'm not going to say he will get 7. That would be presumptuous, slip of the tongue, but If he gets 7, he would equal it in terms of number of wickets. But when he had 7 before, it was much more economical under that strain. So 7 for 71. Now Niall Smith comes out, and I'm not saying I don't have confidence in his batting, but I believe the end is near. The end of the innings is near. But Locknott would like to tell him, hold strain, hold strain. Look at the dismissal, flighted. That's one of the great things about his bowling. Pitched.
Yeah, that's pretty adjacent.
Yes, held its own. It was not going down. Neither was it one that would have turned away as the regular leg spinner. Wasn't, as I mentioned, not just the googly and his stock leg spinning delivery. He also has one that flips on, that goes straight on.
Yeah,
and I think that's what has deceived many batters. They're looking for the turn away, or they're looking to read the googly, but then he flips it on, and
Yeah,
the
straight
second
on.
wicket he has gotten on that in that vein.
Yeah, he seems to bowl that delivery pretty well too, Sadi. I think that's his,
And with the same action.
yeah, that's his go-to delivery where he goes straight on the stumps. I
So,
think Lovell was just guilty of playing down the wrong line there.
well, I think Lover was unsettled because that was really a telling blow that he got from Goodrich. I thought it was his forearm. But when he saw the replay, that one rocketed into his chest. And but he's a strong lad, and I believe he may have something to show the academy when it's his time to bowl.
This one kept low, Seth.
Yes.
First one you've seen for the match?
Well, I saw one at the other end yesterday from the spinner, but the first one from the fast bowler, Locknott, though might be saying, I just want to stay, but he may not be controlling that because it has been pretty much the bowler taking the wicket this morning. We have seen wickets fall early in the morning each day. Once the pitch bakes out, then it's a different story. Locknott clearly does not want to take the single this early, but Niall Smith can handle himself. I've seen him on occasions batting rather decently. But you batters always feel that you don't want to trust the number 11.
Yeah, well, you'll have to put some trust in him today if he's going to hang around for him to get to that landmark.
You may think I speak about Andy Roberts too much, but I think Andy Roberts and Clive Lloyd still would have the highest 9th wicket partnership. In test match, out caught! Locknott cutting at that one. Took the edge, and Carlton Boyne took it nicely, and Goodrich gets a wicket. The innings comes to an end. The Guyana Harpy Eagles been dismissed for 663, and this is in fact in the 3rd over of the morning. Outside the off stump and coming back, he was looking to ease that one through the cover region. Excellent diving catch from Carlton Boyne Tuckett. So the lead, Dave Joseph, is 178. But look at Goodrich again. Around the wicket.
Over the wicket.
Angling the ball in. The batter feels that he has it. And the edge was found.
Yeah, good stuff by Carlton Boyne Tuckett. A very good catch. And a decent bowl delivery by Goodrich. I think they'd be pretty happy to have, managed to bowl Guyana out. Not very many teams can pull this batting lineup under, the batting lineup of Guyana under control. But they've managed to bowl them out after, some hard work.
And you are seeing Matara, the man, leaving the field. He must be
getting
happy
6 wicket set.
Yes, ending, in fact, as the man who would have taken the most wickets on this track. 6 for 202, 46 overs, and 2 maidens involved. This youngster, Zishan Matara, and he would have done well. The other bowlers who would have taken wickets, Dave, before we go to the batting card, Javante De Pisa, yesterday 1 for 52. Rivaldo Clark, the captain, who also kept wicket, 1 for 82 from his 23 overs. And we also saw Nathan Edward, 1 for 73. And the man who took the final wicket, Amari Goodrich, 1 for 56 from 13.3. The other bowlers, Renico Smith, none for 80, bowled rather well. Mavendra Dindial, 3 overs, none for 18. Kelvin Pittman, 17.5 overs, none for 75. And Damil Evelyn just bowled 1 ball to relieve Pittman, who was ill. And you get a sense that that was it. But look at what happened in the Guyana innings just before we wrap up here in the innings. Remember, Chandra Paul 59 at the top, but Natyu Nandu 237 from 361 balls, 29 fours. Kevlon Anderson 31, Tevin Imlak 8, Zinol Ramsamy 14, and then Jonathan Van Land 133 from 165 balls, 24s and 1-6, and Richie Lochner, the last 2 have gone 77, 10 fours, 1-6, 116 balls. Gudakesh Moti 41, Virasamy Pramod 1, Thaddeus Lovell for 6. Niall Smith did not face a ball, 49 extras, and a total of 663 all out Guyana Happy Eagles from 160.3 overs. We will break and then we will return for the response of the West Indies Cricket Academy as the Guyana Happy Eagles lead by 178.
DJ the Up Top Boss representing, and I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T20 we are give them boy them, and you see me? A 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes, you don't know, fully loaded, fun zone for the entertainment and everything, pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up Top Boss representing. I make me turn up in ya. Boom. This is TJ the Up Top Boss representing, and I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T20 we are give them boy them, and you see me? A 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes, you don't know, fully loaded, fun zone for the entertainment and everything, pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up Top Boss representing. I make me turn up in ya. Boom. This is TJ the Up Top Boss representing, and I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T20 we are give them boy them, and you see me? A 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes, you don't know, fully loaded, fun zone for the entertainment and everything, pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up Top Boss representing. I make me turn up in ya. Boom. This is TJ the Up Top Boss representing, and I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T20 we are give them boy them, and you see me? A 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes, you don't know, fully loaded, fun zone for the entertainment and everything, pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up Top Boss representing. I make me turn up in ya. Boom. This is TJ the Up Top Boss representing, and I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T20 we are give them boy them, and you see me? A 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes, you don't know, fully loaded, fun zone for the entertainment and everything, pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up Top Boss representing. I make me turn up in ya. Boom. This is TJ the Up Top Boss representing, and I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T20 we are give them boy them, and you see me? 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes, you don't know, fully loaded, fun zone for the entertainment and everything, pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up Top Boss representing. I make me turn up in ya. Boom. This is TJ the Up Top Boss representing, and I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T20 we are give them boy them, and you see me? A 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes, you don't know, fully loaded, fun zone for the entertainment and everything, pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up Top Boss representing. I make me turn up in ya. Boom. This is TJ the Up Top Boss representing, and I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T.
Oh, welcome back to the Antigua Recreation Grounds. I am Seth Burton and I'm delighted to be with you. Dave Joseph, my good friend and co-commentator, we are delighted to be bringing you coverage once again. And this match is in the 4th day, and you may say 4th day. There are still possible outcomes, Dave. Each team would have completed an innings, completely batted without declaration. But with the lead of 178, the Guyana Harpy Eagles, they can bowl out the academy. I am not saying within 178, but they can maybe 200 and have a couple of runs to make. So we still have a possibility of an outright result. When we look at the match, in the first innings, the West Indies Academy, they were 168 for 6.
Yeah, they were reeling.
Reeling at 169 for 6, so they could have been bowled out, apart from that monumental partnership of 280 between Rivaldo Clark and Amari Goodrich. So anything is possible. So we want you to be locked in and to be glued to this contest, because apart from the fact that some of the Guyanese batters would be saying, I'm trying to get myself in queue for the finals, some of these young players for the West Indies Academy who have been talents revealed in a special way, they may have something to say, not just that we're going to Sri Lanka on a tour after this, but some may well be putting their hands up to say, look at me, because the next time you may be seeing them, they may be in the Maroons. Dave, your thoughts as the innings is just about to get on the way?
Yeah, most definitely, Seth, is still an option here for an outright win. And West Indies Academy youngsters will need to bat and bat sensible and properly to save off, you know, Guyana bowling attack here, and then set themselves up for, you know, some good batting today. And the pitch is still playing well, Seth, so
yes,
it's a good track to bat on. Maybe a good opportunity for some of these guys to get some runs.
Yes, well prepared pitch, and it looks as though Niall Smith is doing his warm-ups, and Becky Joseph, quite vociferous and effervescent.
Yeah, I must say kudos to the groundsmen, Seth, too.
Yes, Anthony Merrick and his crew, they have done a remarkable job, and even the manual scorer, Black Jarvis, Alfonso Jarvis and his crew. So it's all teamwork. Niall Smith is here Oh, Joseph gets off the mark immediately. Playing it straight, a bit tentatively. So the left and right combination means that the field would move around. That is something that Dave Joseph likes. He likes that left and right combination.
Yeah, it's pretty important to keep this, the bowlers, thinking. They've got to rethink and you change their lines and lengths, that kind of stuff. They're two different angles.
Daniel Evelyn, the right-handed opener, faces. It will be interesting to see if on this occasion Thaddeus Lovell is given the new ball in the first innings.
Yeah, he saw him marking his run set, so it looks pretty much as he's going to take up the attack from here.
That would be good.
Yeah,
it would be good to
Let's see
him.
what he has to offer.
Because yesterday we were speaking about all the other young fast bowlers. We didn't really speak of him because he wasn't bowling, but I thought you spotted some talent in him, and we have also seen him having a capacity to even improve on the entire package. Evelyn would like to get some runs because it was Mbeki Joseph who did much of the honors at the top of the order in the first innings. Joseph scored 60 and he was really hammering the bowling before he was bowled. In fact, they lost their first wicket on 26. Evelyn got just 11. So you would want to say, this is my time. And Becky would also want to say, I want to express myself again. Niall Smith in the first game here against the Windward Islands Volcanoes, he had 5 for 26 bowling on this surface. Really bowled well, right? 5 for 36, bowled well with good swing, with relatively good pace, steady, consistent line. Didn't look as we expected at the beginning of the innings against the Academy, but we saw that by the time he came into his second spell, we saw a different Niall Smith, someone who wanted it.
Yeah, he looked a bit stiff in that first spell that he bowled here against the Academy set. And the left and right hand combination did not allow him to settle at all, didn't give him that chance.
Much talk continues around the region regarding the possible makeup of the test team. I think it's good, the debate, because no one is saying anything about the T20 or the ODI. Let me not say no one, because I said I'm not on Facebook. I have withdrawn. But in terms of those feeds you're getting from YouTube, and whenever you get an opportunity to hear a little debate on a talk show, it is all about test selection, which is strange. It's like there is a shift of focus, because it had always been, I know the T20 World Cup has gone, I know, but instead of talking about what is going to happen in Sabina Park in a couple of weeks, it is about who may or may not make the test team. So the first over has been completed. It's 2 without loss each, 1 each for the two openers, Joseph and Evelyn.
Yeah, test cricket is always the prime stuff that you're going to look at. That's where we judge our players from around here. And as the good old saying goes, once you can play test cricket, you should be able to gravitate and go to the other disciplines in terms of the shorter version. It's just a matter of picking your pace up when you're batting. Bowling, you got to look at, bowling more variety and that kind of stuff. So I think we're more locked into to see our batters and bowlers being put through the grind and through the test, playing for 5 days. But as I say, the world has gone the shorter route now, which is more entertainment.
But I think some tough negotiation has to be done with the other teams in terms of expanding the test series You know, by the time you get yourself in for 2 tests, series is over.
Yeah, well, Lovell to start.
Not a bad delivery. And Bicky, in fact, Evelyn, as though he wasn't quite ready for it, he walks away.
Yeah, Lovell seemingly looking a bit more alert. Seen a bit more urgency from him, even his walking back to the back.
Well, he gets the new ball and he gets it at the start of the innings. That was not the case in the first innings. Oh, that's a beauty! He's out caught! That's a snorter! You're talking about placid pitch. That one reared from back of a length. It was a pounding. And Evelyn was on the front foot and the ball followed him, sparred at it, tried to defend it. And a good catch by Chandapol, in fact, running in from gully. So the Happy Eagles, they have struck 2 for 1, Dave Joseph.
Yeah, as I mentioned, Seth, you've seen a lot of runs being scored. But once the bowlers are willing to put in their hard work, you'll get success. And there we see young Lovell getting his first wicket. That's his first wicket on debut.
Ooh, that one was sharp and it came back.
Yeah.
It shocked, I believe, Evelyn. Chandapol celebrating the catch.
Lovely stuff by young Lovell.
We have said it about the pitch.
As I said to you, Seth, he looks a bit more alert this morning. He's like he wants to get something done.
Well, he's running in from just below us, so perhaps Dave Joseph maybe heard you on the first ball. The guys used to say sometimes the players are wired up. So
yeah, you need to keep going here, Seth, and get some wickets on his belt and some for his team.
He had 1 in the first innings. In fact, 2 in the first innings. Did he? When he got his, there was, 2. So his first one in his third first-class game was his first wicket. Didn't get that many opportunity, and now he gets the first wicket of the innings. And there's a difference. You give the youngster the new ball. In the first innings, they gave Veerasamy Promotional. The youngster did not come into the act until, almost 40 overs were bowled. You would feel as though you're a second-class bowler.
No, I think it's a team plan, I think. Palmer bowling to the youngsters. They thought they might
Name brand.
They might have been able to make some inroads.
The youngster.
So we've seen a leg slip being employed.
Quite interesting. Lavender Dindial strikes this one with authority. Leg slip or not, he's short. Pull that with authority. Lovely shot.
Yeah, that's a good shot by Dindial. He swiveled on his back foot and pulled it around nicely for 4.
The first 4 of the innings.
Yeah, good start by the young batter.
The first ball to him, and he's a character. The first innings he got 45, and I thought he could have gone on. Another relatively good bouncer. It was body line. He got up on 1 foot and the other one in the air, cocked it and really hammered it, showing that he has good eyes and good judgment. Ooh. Down the leg side.
Yeah, I think it would actually better serve Lovell bowl in the line that he got the wicket.
Perhaps got a bit carried away.
Well, I think once the captain has pushed the man at leg slip, he'll look into attack him around the body region. And
something very interesting happening at Coolidge. Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, 236 for 9. They have lost 2 wickets this morning. Lovely shot, 4. Another 4. This one on the offside between the backward point and gully fielders, well in control, changing the line, but at the same time, the batter changing his approach, stepping out with that front foot and stabbing it brilliantly backward of point for 4.
Yeah, that was a good shot by Dindial.
Good delivery, better delivery. Dindial allows it to go through. The over comes to an end. After 2 overs, it's 10 for 1. Dindial on 8. And Mbiki Joseph on 1. But the important thing, that wicket in the over, Dave.
Yeah, it was a good delivery by young Lovell. It really reared at the batsman and took his glove and then went straight to the gully field in Chandapal. So it's been a good start by the Guyana bowling attack, picking up the early wicket set.
Yes, interest mounts on that Guyana the Trinidad and Tobago Barbados game. Joshua Bishop has gotten a 5-wicket haul. Cephas Cooper getting 100 and out for 102. Joshua Bishop. An interesting character, Dave. Joshua Bishop has, before this game, 24 first-class games, 110 first-class wicket. That's a lot. A high conversion rate. A conversion rate over 4 is an outstanding conversion rate. He's averaging less than 24 per wicket. He has 2 first-class hundreds in those 24 matches. You hardly hear anyone say anything about Joshua Bishop, and he stood between both teams. He scored 99 not out when the Barbadians were tottering at 50-something for 6. Transformed the game and now taking 5-wicket haul, a 5-wicket haul in this innings.
Well, he will certainly have the eyes of the scouts and probably the ear of the selector set this time around.
Well, the man who is leading the team is the man who has captained the West Indies team for the last 7 test matches. I'm not saying it's going to be the captain. Maybe they have decided that. But my opinion differs from continuity as far as, test leadership is concerned. If the results are not adding up and you have seen a marked decline even in the performance, the individual performance of the captain, with the bat averaging just about 13 since taking over that role. Let me focus on this, because Mbiki Joseph wants everyone to know that he's not just a good character in the field, but he's a solid batter. And he gets a single, turning the strike around.
Yeah, well, for him to keep his team out of trouble, he said he'll have to bat like he did in the first innings and even go on to do better. He got 60 odd in the first innings.
Yes,
he need to convert that into a bigger score.
Maybe over exuberance, because he got to 60 with 2 sixes in that over in which he was bowled. So a good combination here. Rivaldo Clark, who scored 180, would be thinking, I didn't necessarily want to put my pads on again so early. He may have thought that the openers would take care of it, but I believe he's already padded up along with DePisa. Or would there be a role reversal? Would they send Carlton Bowen tuck it out early? He didn't get much on the first innings.
Yeah, barring injuries that I don't think you'd want to change your batting lineup. So I think Clark should come in where he's set to, barring injury.
In your days playing for the West Indies, you were brought up the ladder, won't you? Weren't
yeah,
you?
it was,
You started at number 6, I reckon, and then you were...
No, from the very first game, I was trusting at number 3.
The very first game, interesting.
Yeah, I haven't never batted at number 3 for Leewards.
But you batted at number 6 for the Leewards.
Yeah, I guess when you're the newest or the latest addition to the team, you've got to
comply. You got to do what is required of you.
Take what you get. But the old saying goes that if you know how to bat, you should be able to bat anyhow, any number.
Well, and the reality to be batting at number 3 in the team with Brian Lara and Carl Hooper, I guess it speaks volume of the quality of your batting and the level of confidence and the expectations they had of you.
Yeah, well, I must give credit to my good old coach, Taddy Arundel. You know, at combined schools, we were being taught and coached to bat at any number. I started as an open bat for combined school. Myself and a young man they call Junior Anthony now resides in Miami. He's the brother of Hamish.
Hamish,
Anthony.
yes, I when we said that name, it clicked.
Yep.
And Bicky steering that one out to lock not at point. But one thing, he shouted no very early.
Yeah, he was very confident that he's not going to be trying to take a single. You heard him from the commentary box loudly.
13 for 1, Dave.
Yeah, good start again by the, as I said, the Guyanese bowlers. They've been keeping these guys on the check.
Well,
and
you see
hoping to, you know, make some inroads. Lovell will definitely be thinking of getting some wickets on his belt.
Yes.
He has the new ball set this time around.
Well, he has gotten off to a good start. So Lover, one of the other youngsters, we got to write his name down in that prospects list. Good delivery, and Dindial coming down hard on that. That was a fuller length delivery than he saw in the previous over, and that one had him cramped on the back foot.
Yeah, I think Dindial is suggesting that that one kept low.
I don't think so. I thought it was the length.
Yeah, I think he should have been on the front foot for that ball, that delivery in particular.
Clipped off the pads. Van Lan cannot stop it. It is third four of the innings for Mavendra Dindial. He moves to 13. Score moving up to 17 for 1. What was the difference here? Still full length, but just back of a length, but on the legs.
That man that was pushed back. So I think he was actually looking for a short ball. That's why he was late in coming forward and not even coming forward at all.
But Van Lan is not quite
playing for that, thinking about that short ball is going to come at him.
This time he drives another 4. Consecutive 4s from this young sparkling talent. He missed out on the first innings. Did get 45. To say miss out may not seem the appropriate word, but given what was on offer, could have gone along.
Shot set, the textbook.
Yes, he has a repertoire of strokes. He's on 17, the score up to 21, and we're only in the 4th over. Quite confident in his approach, Dindial. Short one, and he hooks at that, Van Lan. Oh, just short of Van Lan, and you see the trap. Van Lan should not be on the boundary, and it almost worked.
Yeah, he almost, played into the hands of the Guyanese attack and the plans that they have.
The ball got onto him a bit quicker because he could not have gone backward. I think the effort was to go backward, but by the time he was coming, the ball was there. He went square of the wicket.
Yeah, but sometimes you've got to learn to, get
adjust
out and duck and weave and
allow the ball to go through.
You cannot go down that route falling into the trap when it has been set for you set.
That's right. Could have gone, and you would need to think that this is more than a contest between himself and Lovell. But there is a bigger picture.
Yeah, there's always a bigger picture. The team picture is always a bigger one set. So he needs to bat and bat, for quite some time today to take his team to a safe place.
Lovell almost got...
They're trailing by what, 160?
178 at the start, so now it's 156.
No.
Didn't feel it, so he decided to go back to his mark.
Could have seen that in his run-up set. He didn't get it right.
The rhythm was not there.
Yeah, struggling a bit.
He's attacking Mbeke Joseph, the left-hander, from around the wicket. He has the capacity to get the ball to come in sharp to the right-hander. So then that ball pitching and leaving the left-hander, what he may be searching for, but he may need to go closer, Dave Joseph, to that off stump instead of wide outside.
Yeah, well, he was getting it to come into the right-hander from over the wicket, so I think he should have stayed there.
That was my thought.
And with the angle, and
rushed him a bit, but he was able to pull it around to Niall Smith at short fine leg for a single. Over comes to an end. 22 for 1. West Indies Academy in their second innings. They need to clear a deficit of 178. So we were talking about Lovell and that hook shot. Attempted hook shot. Van Land, though, may have been looking for the ball to come to him, Dave. Just about shoulder height, pulled it from the right shoulder. And then it dropped just in front of...
Yeah, a couple of yards in front of Van
Land.
Yeah.
Could have been a wicket.
Yeah, so the plan almost worked.
Dindial would rethink his approach. Lovell would be happy that he almost got one, and he has one, but almost got a second. At Coolidge, every run that the Red Force players make would be important, because listen, it's 246 for 9. Now they have a lead on first innings of 37. So the lead is now 285. If they can get up to 300, given the number of overs, the reduction of overs, even for changeover, I think if they see through the first hour.
How many wickets have they lost?
Well,
so
9.
So far, 9.
But the first hour is critical. Can the pair of Carrie Peer and is it Jaden Seals? Yes, can that pair bat for at least the hour? They would need to get the hour. They would eliminate the prospect of 15 overs at least. Then 10 for the changeover. Then if they were to bowl after an hour, the Pacers would have a chance to go at the Barbadian batters just before lunch. And it's not an easy pace attack to come up against with Jaden Seals and Anderson Phillip. I believe they would do the bowling, but if they are dismissed before the hour, I think it would be potentially good sailing for the Barbadians.
What scores has been chased down at that venue?
Well, you've had at that venue we have not had much of that, because we had where we have had most of the chasing would have been in Jamaica, where the Barbadians at the center of the chasing, they have done that very well. Jamaica also would have done that, chasing down over 300. So you have had that in Jamaica. Here we have not had the teams chasing down totals, but I think it comes down also to the quality of the bowling attack that you're facing. And this Anderson Phillip has been exceptional, and everyone knows what Jaden Seals can do. 4 runs.
Sweet.
Down the ground, well timed by Mbeke Joseph. Sammy Promotional just looking to chase that. That's all he can do. The ball going easily across, close to that gate.
Yeah, that was a good shot by Mbeke Joseph. Just strolling onto his front foot slightly and pushing it down the ground for 4. And that's a excellent way to play as an opener, Seth.
Yes.
Trying to stay in the V. So we see Smith going around the wicket to Joseph now. Change of line.
Niall Smith, I think, is he reserving? Perhaps not going all out, thinking about the final. Because as we have said, you know, you have seen Lovell charging in. I'm not saying he's not charging. You just don't get the impression that he is hitting the deck the way we saw him hitting that deck against the Windwards. But still, good rhythm in his approach to the wicket.
No ball delivered by Smith. Pulled around down to fine leg. Fielded by Lovell.
Both batters seem to, you know, when the short ball come, they are inclined to pull. They're inclined, even though the ball is close to the body, because that one was pretty much onto the body of Mbeki Joseph. And yet he, well, the good thing with him is that he kept it down, unlike what we saw earlier with Avenger Dindial.
It was a bit lower though than the one that Dindial got. Dindial got one, you know, pretty higher. So if you're going to bowl a short ball, you got to get it up. Up.
This
Ooh.
is a short ball.
This is it. You got to get it up around his neck.
And that was into the body. He was not playing a shot on this moment.
Well, he dropped his arms.
Yes, dropped the arm, but the ball rushed into the body. And Smith must be saying, that's the one I want to have at you.
Yeah, but he's saying to himself, well, that's the one I want to leave alone. I don't want to take my bat and go across to the gully. So he's better taking it on the chest set.
I guess he's well padded and he's a tough youngster.
Yeah, he'll need to be if he's going to stick it out for his team.
So Smith in a good little contest with Dindial. That area of the ARG, as we mentioned, used to host the school boys stand. This is the delivery. Struck the high up on the, in fact, close to the chest, between the chest and that shoulder area. So Niall Smith and Lovell combining. Ooh. Driving at that loosely. And Mbeki Joseph beaten. Lovell is on to something good. Every over, something is happening when Lovell has the ball.
Yeah, I think he just needs to hang around in, you know, one particular area for quite a little while. He's been going up and down the place. And again, maybe you can say he's bowling to left and right hand combination, so he has to switch and change lines and lengths. But
still got to get it right.
Yeah, you got to get it right.
Excuse for left and right.
Yeah.
You determine your angle. He's attacking the left-hander from around the wicket. Lovely shot off the pads. Big chase. But that could be chased and chased by Locknott. It ends up in the boundary for 4. An attempted Yorker though. He got it on the full and he played it nicely and gets
4.
The score motoring on nicely.
Yeah, Moti couldn't pull it back.
It was Moti and not Knocklot. You saw that the attempt was a Yorker. Better partnership between the two than in the first innings. They only added 26 for the first wicket in the first innings. They are now up to 31. They would know they're still in deficit here. Joseph looking for two. Van Lan is there. Throw on the bounce and Mbeki Joseph gets back for his 2 runs. So look at that attempted Yorker. He got it just on the full. And the reason? He was on the front foot, Dave. Had he been back?
Yeah, he would have caught him.
That's right.
Sharp on the crease back there.
And we speak about that. Very important, that initial movement. Some may call it whether it's a trigger movement or it's a forward movement. It gives you the opportunity to transition. But if you are...
Yeah, they call it the forward press.
Yes, and if you are pressing on the crease and standing there, you don't have many options. So the Yorker would knock you over.
Yeah, we see Lover switching over again, so he's gone back over the wicket.
Wide of Mbeki Joseph. To the left-hander, you made that point. With the swing that he gets, which would be going away from the left-hander over the wicket, would have been ideal. So perhaps someone has advised him, or his intuition has kicked
swing
in.
Along with the angle. He has 2 slips and a gully waiting. Or 2 slips and a A fourth slip.
Yeah, 3 slips, you'd say. First, second, and fourth.
Ooh.
In the air between Smith and Locknott for 4. And Becky Joseph, he wants to hook. He will hook.
Yeah, well, he was pretty confident. He didn't even move, Seth. After
They have
playing
picked
that
out the
stroke.
2 feelers and know that it was placed between them. I reckon, though, he didn't get it as well as he wanted. Because when you're hooking like that, you want to put it over the boundary. So he's picking up the pace. He has caught up with Mavenja Dindial. Both are on 18, and it's 39 for 1. He goes again. This time it's
forward
over.
square.
And in fact, it dropped just in front of the boundary. I thought it went right over
Yeah, but it's in front of square set.
on this occasion.
That's a
Played
serious shot.
with much more authority.
Yeah.
Pulled from outside the off stump. And forward of squares. Dave would have told you. So 2 fours successively. 1 backward of square, 1 forward of square. And Becky Joseph stamping his authority on things. And score has moved up to 41 in a quick time. Just 6 overs completed. And the West Indies Academy now trailing by 135 runs.
Yeah, so this is I was having a chat with the coach again this morning, and he was saying that, we're trying to develop youngsters to be positive, not because you're looking to, the game is on the last day, looking to close up shots. So these guys are playing pretty positive cricket here. Once the ball has been thrust in the areas, they're going to have a go at it. Here we go again.
Lovely.
Oh,
On the bounce. He likes that on 1 foot. He said, you struck me in the last delivery of your previous over. It is my time now.
yeah, it's a pretty good shot. I see there's a chap being set on the hook for
In fact, there are 2
Dindial,
feelers
but he's still
backward of
going
square.
hooking.
Yes, but it was well timed, well placed.
Yeah, in between both feelers.
Look at it. Short, and he pivots well on 1 foot. Oh,
Yeah.
Allah, the men of old. Dave Joseph would have played shots like that. I'm not saying you're an old man. I said the men of old. I could have been speaking about generations prior to you.
Yeah, well, I'm not such a young guy, Seth, so I'll take it whichever way you want to put it.
This is looking good.
Also, we've got a third man being put back now.
Well,
third man
one
on the
is
leg
forward
side,
of square now. So
1 forward of square,
Van Lang has been
1
placed.
3/4 way behind square and the fine leg, wide fine leg. So they'll be attacking him around that area. Let's see if he continues to hook or pull.
Smart fella.
He's
Goes
gonna-
on top of it and just pats it down. Oh, and Becky Joseph wanted to come back for the second. But he was... Dindial said no. And this is really good cricket. You see that he's thinking Dindial. They went for the third player. The ball was there, the same ball. There's no short leg, so he just went up.
It will be interesting,
played
Seth,
it
to
down.
see if he gets it up higher, because he seems to be compulsive in terms
Yes.
of that
Some
shot he
players
wants to
can't
play.
help
So
it.
I would like to see that Smith getting at him and getting it up around his ears, see what he does.
It comes to how you control it, because when you're compulsive hooker or puller, you're I don't want to say helpless. Either you're going to take it on or you're going to perish.
Yeah,
But you
well,
can't resist. Richie Richardson was that sort of compulsive. The other night I was just watching an old clip and said Richie thinks that he has to go again. We also remember another Guyanese. It was his downfall on many occasions. Ramnaresh Sarwan, he was also compulsive on that. Oftentimes that was his demise. Your strength could be your weakness. He fell to that shot on many occasions. Ram Sarwan has been another leading light. West Indies and Guyanese cricket came in as such a young player, tender player. Well, I believe, barring his injury at a critical time may have been critical to the sort of downward spiral of West Indies cricket in test matches. I would get back to that to confirm the context. Because under his captaincy, he was batting well as a captain. You know, and the team was balanced. And he had an injury, I thought, running towards the boundary. I can't remember where, but I can visualize it. And his injury, when he came back, he was not brought back as captain. And I thought he was doing a very good job as both a captain, batting as a captain. And once that changed, I thought, you know, we had some hiccups that may not have been managed as well. Not pointing any fingers, but he was another.
Wow.
Carter and Mickey Joseph goes big. That's over the boundary. Niall Smith being hammered here by these two openers.
Yeah,
the 50 comes up.
That's a good shot set.
In a quick time, Dave Joseph.
Yeah, it was banged in short and he took on the challenge.
So the 50 comes up. And
yeah, let's have a look at that shot again, Seth.
Let's speak about old times as well. Yes, he got it early and he hooked it around. That stand we used to call the Dutch lady stand. It had a roofing on before, just back of the old scoreboard.
Was it the Dutch lady stand?
Well, that was branded by Andrew Wholesaler's Dutch Lady.
Okay.
But
never heard of that one.
You know, it was just a little stand, the smallest stand in the ARG. Oh, he was attempting to to go at it again.
Pulled out at the last minute.
Yes, was up to the task. Good, interesting, encouraging over. The 50 Dave Joseph coming off. 6.4 overs. These guys are going at a gun.
Yeah, as I said.
You would come in and you would think it's T20 cricket?
Not really. I think the guys have been given some deliveries that they can dispatch, and they have been dispatching them pretty well.
Well, we've seen the physio coming out. Can't quite pick up what it is.
Something with Mbiki, I think, from one of his hands or something like that.
Let's look at that 6 again. Yes, he went full-blooded. You know, when you speak about left and right combination, I know I was speaking about Sarwan before, and I provided a context. He was one of those young guys, came into the team at 17. Played also ODI cricket. That, in fact, I saw him first in that regional game way back, I think, in 1997. You guys were playing in Jamaica. Met him for the first time. Very intelligent, smart young chap. But when we speak about left-right combination, going beyond that, before it was Haynes and Greenwich, it was Greenwich and Fredericks. Roy Fredericks, a Guyanese batter, pugnacious, really a good hit off the ball.
Pretty interesting stuff going on the field set in terms of field placement. Have a look at the leg side.
Well, let me move because a column is in front of me from this angle. Yes, interesting. Jan the ball forward of square. Lover back of the square. Niall Smith down that fine leg on the boundary. And Van Lang is forward of the square leg umpire short. So they're having them deep and they're having them short. And I think the ploy is to try and attack Dindial with the shorter stuff and let him play into the hands of one of those fielders.
Yeah.
But now it's Mbiki Joseph. So when I see these two, how they're attacking, and you look at the positive approach that they have had, you may want to think that this combination is one that serves well in that mold of that Greenwich-Frederick sort of combination. The West Indian brand was always a brand of positivity.
Yeah, it is, and it should be all the time.
Now you see England, they're trying what they call the buzz ball. People try all sorts of different approaches, but it was an original West Indian brand that swept the world.
Yeah, in conversation with the coach this morning for the young academy, he made mention of how quickly they scored their runs.
That was, in fact, the first day.
Yeah,
423 runs
in a day, and that was
in 91 overs.
quite remarkable. We see another fielder being, this is real tactical here.
And he goes again and will be taken. Naismith takes it. He plays into the trap once again, and Mbiki Joseph just giving it away. The trap was set. There were 4 fielders on the boundary on the onside. He still went for the hook shot and giving it away. Lover having the last laugh. I got the impression that his top hand didn't grip the bat on that occasion or was loose. And Niall Smith, a good catch. You must give him credit coming around from fine leg and allowing the ball. In fact, the other fielder not interfering with Smith, and Smith taking a good catch, running around, but disappointing from the standpoint of Mbiki Joseph, because they got off to a good start, put a 50 partnership together, but at the same time,
Yeah, disappointing in fact, because when you see a chap being set like that set, yeah, that shot was, no way on the cards. Sometimes you've got to learn to be able to duck, bob and weave, take a few knocks if you have to,
that's right.
and stay long.
Yes, he's
You cannot see a chop like that until
and still
try
walk
to-
into it.
Still walk into it. Yeah.
And he has the capacity to keep it down. I think youthful exuberance, they call it. After scoring 60 in the first innings, I believe. He had time. Time is not an issue, because they would have been in a good position. What would have been an issue was that he get beyond the 28 runs that he had. He had 28 from 25 deliveries. 4 fours and a 6. You don't need more attacking strokes. You just need to be there.
No, you need to do what the team requires you to do, and that is to stay there as long as possible. Bat yourself into your team into a good position, not being able to lose the game at all.
Javonte De Pisa comes to the wicket to replace Mbeke Joseph. And now he would have to think about not just counter-attack, thinking about keeping his team in check, because they are not in a good position. They lost the first wicket on 2 and the second on 52, so just after a 53-run partnership, Joseph goes. De Pisa allows a wide ball to go over his head and to his right. So Lover striking twice. Good start by young Theodus Lovell. He had been struck about by Mbiki Joseph, but he has the last laugh. Or the last smile. Still a possible outcome of a victory for the Guyana Harpy Eagles in this game. You see now Moti showing umpire Bratt with the ball. So, but he tosses it to Lovell. Lovell will continue his work. He's in his 4th over. Being entrusted the new ball in the second innings. He's showing that he works given the new ball. Not a short one. De Pisa allows it to go down the leg side. With De Pisa, there's still the 2 fielders on the boundary backward of the square leg umpire. Shanda Paul is still forward of the umpire. So it may be a plan not just for the Joseph Dindial combination, but it may be the ploy for the top order. Pitched up delivery. First for a while you'll see the full length ball, Dave Joseph.
Yeah, he's been preferred on the shorter side, Lovell, based on the plans that the captain is trying to execute. We see fine leg deep backward square 3/4 away and a man in front of square 3/4 of the way. A man in short just in front of square.
Innocuous delivery down the leg side. Yes, the pitch has something in it for the bouncers, but when you're too short, in fact, no ball now being signaled. Did they have 3 men backward of square? I don't think so. I think maybe he has overstepped, but they were all looking out towards the onside. And Lover may have just overstepped. No, he was inside the crease. I'm not quite sure
I think
what the call was.
I think what's happening, Van Lan was probably
Moving.
behind. No, he was behind the line.
Oh, he was behind the line, so
Yeah.
3 would have been. Oh, this time it's a good one. The ball goes down to third man over the slip region. The Pisa not controlling that one well. And Dave Joseph, you're speaking about runs, you're speaking about wickets, you're speaking about the pitch. It's a lively pitch. You
Well,
get something.
as I mentioned, you know, there's always something for the bowlers seemingly, because once you're willing to bend your backs and work hard, you'll get results.
This man Lovell.
We haven't seen many balls keeping low set,
That's right.
and whenever it's banged in, it actually flies off the surface. So it's a good working pitch.
Lover justifying taking the new ball in the second innings. Another good one, but well defended on this occasion by the Pisa. The first one had him in all sorts of trouble. And Lovell is happy with his work. He's happy with his 2 wickets, his 2 for 37, but it was also a good testing over.
Yeah, I think he'd be happy, you know, picking up a few more. Because I think if you notice that last ball he bowled, the length and the line of it that actually took the shoulder of the bat, I think he should be concentrating more in that area.
Good advice.
Especially now that he has got 2 right-handers to bowl to. It makes it a bit easier for him, so he's not switching lines, you know, just concentrate right in that area. If you see, it's Dindial actually rehearsing the leave alone.
Well, we're now going to have an introduction of spin Dave Joseph. Are you in agreement with bringing in the veteran Veerasamy Pramod? Or would you have kept the Pacers on a little bit more?
I would have gone on for another, 2 or 3 overs, see what happens. You know,
because
it's not my call, actually. Smith is still there jumping around. So he seems to be still, in good condition. So it will be the veteran anyway, and the old statesman of Guyana's cricket, Promotional. He will be taking up the attack from the northern end.
Yes. Dave, we will be having a discussion about high scores. And when you look at the game, though, in spite of the high score, you're seeing the possibility of an outcome. So that makes it even more interesting, because oftentimes when you have high scores, people are saying the game could be pleading to a tame draw. But there is a possibility of a result here.
Yeah, well, it's going to take a bit of work on the part of the Guyanese bowling attack to get these guys out set, to enforce that there's a result.
Well, they have had 2. And having had 2, it's just 8 more. And that's why they have gone for Veerasamy Pramod.
Yeah, I think you'll see a bit more variety from Promotional in this innings set. A bit more flighted balls and that kind of stuff. Because they'll be trying everything to get these guys out.
So, interestingly, the 655 scored by the Guyana Happy Eagles in their innings is in fact their highest total in first-class cricket, in regional first-class cricket. But it's also the 6th highest overall in terms of regional first-class games. So Guyana have progressively shown that they're capable of going higher and higher and higher. So we're also going to review some of the matches in terms of highest score. The highest regionally, Barbados, 726 for 7 against Trinidad and Tobago in Bridgetown. Dave, I don't even believe your father was alive at that time. Maybe your grandfather was in 1926, 27. Ooh. Oh, that one was a Chinese cut, one in the dark. He was playing defensively, tentatively rather, and the ball taking the inside edge and going towards the leg side. A little bit of pressure applied by Virasamy Permaul, 60 for 2. And they're still in deficit by 118 runs. Okay, so we spoke about that. That was 1926-27. Not even my mother was born 1928. We're having a break now. So I guess we would get back to that discussion. So none of us would have seen that many runs scored in our lifetime after the break.
We are give them boy them and you see me? 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes. You don't know, fully loaded fun zone for the entertainment and everything. Pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up Top Boss representing. I make me turn up in ya. Boom. This is TJ the Up Top Boss representing. And I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T20 we are give them boy them and you see me? 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes. You don't know, fully loaded fun zone for the entertainment and everything. Pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up Top Boss representing. I make me turn up in ya. Boom. This is TJ the Up Top Boss representing. And I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T20 we are give them boy them and you see me? 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes. You don't know, fully loaded fun zone for the entertainment and everything. Pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up Top Boss representing. I make me turn up in ya. Boom. This is TJ the Up Top Boss representing. And I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T20 we are give them boy them and you see me? 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes. You don't know, fully loaded fun zone for the entertainment and everything. Pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up Top Boss representing. I make me turn up in ya. Boom. This is TJ the Up Top Boss representing. And I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T20 we are give them boy them and you see me? 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes. You don't know, fully loaded fun zone for the entertainment and everything. Pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up Top Boss representing. I make me turn up in ya. Boom. This is TJ the Up Top Boss representing. And I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T20 we are give them boy them and you see me? 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes. You don't know, fully loaded fun zone for the entertainment and everything. Pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up.
We're back and Lovely's back. Oh, quite an interesting move there by Dindial. He was walking down to Lover. Lover, though, pulled it down, and he was able to transition. This guy is interesting.
Yeah, well, I
Dindial.
saw him rehearsing that early on, and don't know if it's a wise ploy really, but he is trying to unsettle Lovell, definitely. Force him to bowl a different length.
And then he was clever enough, even though the ball was coming into him, he had the capacity to adapt and adjust and work it down on the onside. Ooh, DePisa for the second time against Lovell. He's not looking comfortable. The ball is lifting disconcertingly. That one came into his left shoulder area, took the shoulder of the bat, went into the offside. Shouldn't then we see closer fielders look at it. He's batting, comes across towards, and going down the leg side, the ball taking the handle of the bat, going out into the...
Yeah, he just got to allow the ball to come onto him a bit more before trying to work it into the onside set. He's working a bit too early.
Lovell again, and almost a forced throw, going to pull the ball, going just over the edge, top edge of the bat.
Yeah, I think it's going to be important set for these young batters to be able to, allow these short balls to go through. Leave alone, duck, weave, whatever you have to do, so that you can hang on to your wicket for a longer time. Force them to do something else rather than bowling all short ball. It's a definite plan to bowl short. You can see it.
And they're winning the short ball battle. The Happy Eagles, particularly Lovell. The piece of this time looks more assured. What I saw with the Pisa are both times in which the ball took the top of the bat, one the shoulder and one the handle. When he took the handle, it was outside the off stump coming into him, to be fair. It was a difficult one. On this occasion, the ball was heading down the leg side. But somehow, he got the ball into the offside.
Yeah, that's
he was not
the leading edge.
Now he fans at that. He could have left that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Set. You got to learn to leave alone, duck, bob and weave.
So
sometimes you don't have to prove that you're a good hooker for the bowler.
That's right.
Yeah, force him to bowl a different line. I can remember you talk a lot about Andy Roberts. Set. When I was coming into cricket, I think the tail end of Andy Roberts, I was just starting to play my Antigua career, and he was bowling me some short balls. Shot.
That's the Pisa. That's the real Pisa.
Yeah, that's it.
Off the back foot now and punching it through the covers for 4.
Yeah, so I was telling you about Andy Roberts when I was coming. So we were in net scene at the ARG, and he was bowling.
On this occasion, Dave, he waited. You were speaking about the technique, waiting on the ball and then playing the shot, not rushing the shot.
It was a different length, though. The ball is of a different height.
Look at this.
Yeah, totally
that's right.
Different height, yeah.
But back to the story about Andy Roberts.
Yeah, so he bowled me a few short balls in the nets, and I was ducking and weaving, and so he came down and he asked me, "What happens, Soppy? You don't hook?" I say, "Well, I don't have to hook. I'll hook when I want to hook." So he just went off on his busy way, So you've got to force the bowlers. If you're competent and you're comfortable in ducking and weaving, they'll be forced to bowl a different length.
So I'll tell you another story that over has been completed. I know we have to get back to the high scores, and we'll get back to those stories. So where Sammy Pomal being tickled for a single. Just rotating the strike here. Dindial. But so you told the great man, you don't have to hook, but you can manage yourself.
Yeah, you can.
You don't have to hook, but you can manage
still
yourself.
Without hooking.
Motion, you may have done some dancing or some boxing, so you can move to the left, move to the right, get down when you have to get down.
Yeah,
but the important things, keep your eyes on the ball.
Most definitely.
Because when you keep your eyes, you know where it's going. Yes, one is going to alarm you, guys of that pace.
No, it shouldn't really alarm you. Once
you should be prepared.
Yeah, you should be prepared. They're firing guns and bullets. The guns are firing bullets at you, so you should be prepared. I always look at, batting as, the bowlers, firing bullets at you.
That's right. Well, in those days, you'd have come up in an era where there was just raw pace around. Because you spoke now at Andy Roberts at the tail, and then you'd have had a shotgun guys like George Ferris, and
Anthony Merrick.
And then you spoke about Hungry, Vaughan Walsh. By the way, I didn't get to find out how the name Hungry came about, so I'll get that before the day. You had those guys, your brother Jensen Joseph, you had
Cleve Joseph,
Kenneth you
Benjamin,
had Kenny Benjamin, Winston
Benjamin,
Curtly Ambrose. So I'm just calling off, and even in school cricket you had guys like Patmore Richards and Tammo Joseph, and just call the names. It was just the nature. You get in there, you had to face pace. These youngsters may not always be exposed to what our good friend Carlisle called spicy pitches and spicy bowlers. So they may approach it a little differently.
When I got into the West Indies team, I was asked by the great Brian Lara, how do you get out of the way of the short balls so easily? I said, well, bro, where I'm from, they're not bowling at your stumps. They're bowling to take your head off, so you got to be prepared and know how to get out of the way.
That was the Antiguan reality.
Yeah.
And whereas you could tell Sir Andy, he's Sir Andy now, you could have told Andy Roberts, there's a way. Now, there was an introduction of Richie Richardson. I've repeated the story a few times, where Richie could not handle the short balls. And Guy Yarwood at Rising Sun told the youngsters one day, kill him with short pitch. I won't tell you the word that he used. And Richie realized that without a helmet, with these pace, he has to find a way. And he found a way.
Yeah, well, they call it the baptism.
And in his baptism, it was the balls going over where that cinema was in front of Mount St. John. They used to call it what, drive-in cinema?
Drive-in cinema.
So a man was transformed from being shy of the short balls, being not so much of a good hooker. And when we say hooker, we are not speaking about, but we're speaking about in terms of the cricket ball, a good play of the hook shot. And that transformed him to be one of the best. Playing that shot, the Pisa, showing now that he's adjusting to that one. Looks comfortable to that one coming towards his shoulder on the offside. Not as comfortable with the one into his body. But he also is from a culture where pace was king. He's from Barbados. And pace was king in Barbados. And it was king in Antigua. And during that era, every batter must know how to hook, must know how to pull on any pitch.
Yeah. I remember, growing up at factory under the stewardship of my coach, Taddy Arundel, said, once you see him start to walk backwards, when we're in the nets, you know what's coming. He'll have a box of new balls on his arm and he keep throwing out new balls to the fast bowler, so you know what's coming. And once you show signs of weakness, they're going to keep going after you.
Oh, that's a good bouncer, but well handled by the Pisa. He was coming from around the wicket. And you speak about Lovell effortlessly. He looks as though he's just approaching it so calm, but yet the deception that you say.
He has that, level of pace on his deliveries. So he's a bright prospect for the future.
Yes.
He looks pretty strong.
So we have marked down 5 in this game. 5 youngsters in terms of fast bowling prospects. Once he can keep fit and
keep going, he should be, a bright prospect for Guyana.
The Pisa is looking comfortable now, has settled. And it's 67 for 2. Sun is shining brightly here. And there is more than gentle breeze. There is some gust in the breeze. It goes up and it goes down, Dave.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's very strong.
Yeah.
Sometimes it whirls around, and another time it's very calm and gentle. And it's a lovely day for cricket. Lovely shot. Oh!
Dropped.
Wow. He played it well, and I thought it was well over the head of the fielder at cover. And it looks like Locknott, is it?
Seems to have injured himself a bit.
Dived at it in the air, didn't clutch onto it, but it was a positive shot from the Pisa. Lover could have had his third, not looking at his elbow. Quite a dramatic over.
Yeah, that was a regulation catch set. That should have been taken.
For a man like you. Played it with comfort. He dived to his right. Should have taken it, Dave. You're correct.
That should have been taken.
Came from his grasp.
Yeah, Love would have been happy.
But now he's disappointed.
Yeah.
He would have had a couple going in the air. One over third man, one short cover. This one went to hand. And it's good to see that young fast bowler emerging on the fourth day. Waking up things here at the Antigua Recreation Ground. So that was an era. We speak about Barbados had another battery of fast bowlers coming through. These days they are bowlers, but you really don't see them, you know, with that much pace coming out of Bridgetown as usual. It's unfair because we are maybe judging guys against an era or against a couple of eras, but it should happen. It should be a continuous production.
Yeah, I think you wouldn't see it every day set, but you'll see.
You should see it consistently.
Every now and again, you'll see some young fast bowlers coming out. There are certain areas, you know, you look for fast bowlers.
So I'm telling you about one place. We have seen some from Guyana. But when you grew up and you heard about Trinidad and Tobago, all you heard about was spinners. In Tiazali, in Shanali. Tell me a Ranchinanan. That's all you heard. Because before that, yes, there was the late Bernard Julian who, you know, was not really a quick, but equipped himself as a good all-rounder. But then came Ian Bishop and Tony Gray and, you know, a few more. Mervyn Dillon and
Black.
Marlon Black, yes. And since then, you have had now...
Nigel Francis.
Yes, Nigel Francis. There was also this guy, Garnett, a left armer from Tobago. So they had some in that era. And now you're seeing the production of Jaden Seals and co. and Sir Philip. And there may be a few more that we don't know about. I guess Kisharf would tell us about those. But the amount of cricket that is played in Trinidad and Tobago, sometimes there are some fast bowlers. I remember one time, Dave, I was watching a net bowl. In fact, they were in the nets, I think West Indies versus India. They were in the net just back of the Queen's Park Pavilion, and there was a short guy. He just showed up in his regular clothes, and he was chuckling in the net, and the Indian batters were like, okay, wow. That may have been like Fidel Edwards showing up in the nets and catching the attention of the great Brian Lara. But that youngster, I looked at it with astonishment. And when we speak about fast bowlers, I remember we spoke about Ricky Christopher going to training, but I'm going to also relay another experience. Oh, that's a good one. He was going to play and decided not to and ends up lying down. If you're watching it, it was not the ball that put Dindial on the carpet. It was a decision by him, indecision, that led there. A good one coming from around the wicket. He was opting to play. Well, what you have seen would have been the drop catch by Locknort from that shot from the Pisa, but it's good going by this man. Oh, down the leg side. So when we were speaking about fast bowlers, I remember in Trinidad they had this camp. Adam Sanford was in the camp prior to that India series, I think 2006. And I remember Carl Hooper, I think he was the captain then. Let's look at Lovell. A good short one. Yes, and he was swaying out of the way. Lost his footing. Lovell is onto some pace. And Hooper, he asked.
Yeah, that's what he'll need to do. If he's going to survive and so, because they're going to be testing him all the time. So
just be patient.
Yeah, be patient. Yeah, leave alone.
And that's what he does. But to complete that discussion, it was...
The trap has been set, so you got to... Don't fall into the trap.
To complete that discussion, it was Adam Sanford. We have not spoken much about him. He was hitting the bat hard in the nets. And Carl Hooper, I was invited there by the former president. Ricky Skerritt, he was the team manager. Saw me around. He said, come man, come by the nets. And then they started to ask me how Sanford did not play for the Antigua team in what we had, the 50 over competition. Good bouncer again by Lovell. And then he came in, he made his breakthrough, got the chance to play that series against India. So, you know, guys may be in the unknown and then they sneak through. So there are times when there are fast bowlers who are there and then they announce themselves quickly and they get included.
Yeah, I can remember, you know, Sanford when he came around and came onto the scene. I was captain of the Antigua team set.
So you may be able to answer that question. So I should have said to Carl Hooper, call Dave Joseph.
Not really. I'll tell you a few things now. What I'll say to you now, Seth, when I went into a selection meeting, the guys did not want to pick him. The selectors did not want to pick him. So I had to ask them the question. He was a police at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this thing going around. He's not from Antigua. He's
oh,
from
wow.
Dominica
That's
and
bizarre.
That kind of stuff. So I said, no. I said, this man is here guarding your prime minister. What more do you want him to do?
Yet he can't play for the national team.
To be eligible to play for the national team. So I got him into the team and the rest was history.
Yes.
He bowled well. He's a strong fella. He bowls quickly. And he gets the ball to move around.
Plays for the Windwards, you know, under 19 and played for them and then came to Antigua for his policing career and lit up the place and was well deserved. So the over comes to an end. You're hearing stories. Some stories will shock you. Some stories will wake you up to the Caribbean reality. And sometimes it answers the question why, you know, some people make it and some don't. We have a lawyer here, you know, so. So I guess Kishav, you may be hearing, you know, I could well be a client of his, so I have immunity. So the West Indies Academy on 69 for 2. Mavendra Dindial on 29, moves to 30 now. Virasamy Pramod, the man who has the most wickets in regional first-class cricket, came into this game and got his 600th for Guyana in regional cricket, expanding his intake to 681. Man who has played 9 test matches for the West Indies. Came in an era in which they also had Bishu, and also an era in which they went back to pace, but he has always been consistent. What a fine servant of West Indies and Guyana cricket. Very nice personality. Calm and cool. Taken down the leg side, the appeal goes up, not out, says umpire Ogis. And the piece that lives to fight another day. So in terms of we were speaking about records before we got into the fast bowling and the selection issues. We mentioned that the highest would have been Barbados versus Trinidad and Tobago in Bridgetown in 1926-27. And there was a result in that game. Ooh. That was played, in fact, then the next highest regionally would have been the Leeward Islands against Kenya in the Valley Anguilla, one of your favorite pitches, into 2003-2004. It was a drawn game. January 2004. The Leeward Islands 718 for 7. I'm going to pull down some of those old books because I want to see who were the men who scored those runs. And then the third highest, Barbados, again, versus British Guyana. You know, it wasn't Guyana all the time. They had British Guyana before. In the region, you had all sorts of British, where the British introduced British Guyana, French Guyana. The umpire was correct. That did not
Off the
take the
pads,
edge.
looks
Yes. Off the pads going down the leg side. The third high, 715 for 9. At Bridgetown again. Once again, a result. So Kensington Oval being, I believe, the venue. Oh, lovely shot, De Pisa. He has that. Off the back foot. It didn't peel off the edge. It came from the face of the bat, an angled bat. Giovanni De Pisa, another Barbadian. Another one whom you would have seen earlier at the academy. It wasn't far from his body, but he made room, Dave Joseph. I've seen you play that shot on a number of occasions. How difficult is that shot?
Yeah, that's a shot with you've got to really play with real good timing, good footwork, set, and make sure you get on top of it. It's
Punched
if you notice now, they're going to try to put another man in the area.
Yes, they're bringing.
He traveled quite a distance in the air.
Nando is coming around from third man to. Oh, they're trying to fill that gap, the point and the backward point.
It's traveling in the air for quite some time.
Okay, so they are making a decision very close.
So again, he's got to be able to curve his shots and try not to play that at this time.
This time he gets a bounce, he gets under it.
Yeah, he does so.
He heard what Dave Joseph said, you don't have to hook.
No, you don't have to hook.
So apart from those 3 scores above 700s, well, in fact, only one of those was in this century, because the others were before my mother was born. The others were 600 scores, so we have 673. Barbados again. So Barbados 3 times in the top 4 against Trinidad and Tobago this time. In Georgetown. Oh, De Pisa hammered that into his thigh. He was really trying to pull it away forward of square. But instead the ball striking him from the bat into the thigh. Interestingly, the Barbados-Guyana game was played in Georgetown. So a neutral venue. That was Barbados scoring 673. Lovell. Wide signal by umpire Bradford, but it's a good little spell by Lovell. He has been given 8 on the shot. He's in his 8th over. He's not showing any form of tiredness.
Yeah, he's a strong little lad, so and he's young. He's just come on the scene, so he'd want to put on a good show.
So this one, the 5th highest, was 664, just below what we have had here. Jamaica in the mix now. De Pisa once again through the covers for 4. You may have 2, a backward point and a cover point, but he went to the right of the cover point and punching it. You know, that's his favorite stroke, but it's not an easy stroke because the ball is not far from the body. Dave Joseph, I believe you're saying he reminds me of yourself.
Yeah,
in terms of that quality of stroke play.
In some respect, but he's got to. There's a chap set there again, set on the offside for him. So he has got to, curve that if he wants to hang around for his team. You need to bat for a long time today to save off this Guyana attack.
Lovell working hard. Good delivery.
Yeah, that's it. Leave it alone.
So advice for the young man. So again, the 5th high, 664. Jamaica versus Trinidad and Tobago. So Trinidad is always on the, not always, but 3 of the 5 times they're on the other side of the highest scoring game. Barbados, they have been on the good side of the highest score 3 times. This time it's Jamaica versus Trinidad and Tobago at St. Augustine. And this is recent. 2010, it was a drawn encounter. The piece on this occasion didn't get hold of it the way he intended, but it had enough from the bottom half of the bat to go out to extra cover for 4. And Giovanni De Pisa motos on and up to 21, the score up to 86 for 2. And this partnership of 31 is building. It was a slower one, and he was attempting, I got the impression, Dave, to glide that one or to cut that one over square cover, but instead
It came more forward of square, 2 extra cover region for 4.
So they're trailing by 92. Need to clear that. And they are enjoying going at over 5 runs per over, 5.38. Oh, lovely shot. What a shot. This man, Dindial. Dave, he's a revelation. The way in which he played it, he went back and he smashed it. And it wasn't a bouncing delivery. It was just outside the off stump.
Yeah, he played a good shot there, Seth. Off the back foot, smashed away to backward point for 4.
Hit it down. He's enjoying his knock.
Yeah, Palmer is pretty interested to watch his field placement, making sure that Van Nan is in the correct position where he wants him.
So, oh, nicely glanced. A big run here by Gudakesh Moti. Gets it before it crosses the ropes. So 2 runs to Dindial. But our score here by Guyana became the 6th because it eclipsed 641 for 5 made by Guyana against Barbados in Georgetown in 1966, 1967, even before we were born. So most of these actions would have been before our time. But we at least were around with the Leewards versus Guyana. We were at least around with Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica. And we can say we witnessed first-hand Guyana against the West Indies Academy. Excellent batting and excellent performance. Yes. And we're thankful that we're here, because if we were not here,
No ball delivered by Palmer.
if we were not here, we would not have seen the excellent batting of Rivaldo Clark and Goodrich, and we would not have seen the man who exceeded it all, Matthew Nandu, with his double century. If we were not here, we would not have seen that man who just misfielded the ball, Jonathan Van Lang, scoring 100 on his debut.
Had he picked that one up, it would have been trouble.
4 run out.
Yeah, the West Indies Academy batters,
Why are they getting anxious
not sure.
to score quickly? They're going at over 5 runs per over. They're still in deficit.
I
2
think
wickets have gone.
Ball watching just now.
Oh, pats that out, but not in danger at all. The piece that over comes to an end, 94 for 2 after the end of 17. They still trail by 82 runs, the West Indies Academy. Dindial on 38. And Becky Joseph got 28, but really did not push on. Devontae DePisa, he's on 21. But the 2 wickets so far going to Thaddeus Lover, who has had a good spell, and he's coming back for his 9th over on the trot, given a chance to do hard work, and he has really been bowling well, Dave Joseph.
Yeah, he's been bowling well, and he's had an extended run this morning. He's got a couple of wickets, so captain will continue to go along with him, see if he can get a few more. I think the last over he had a chance being dropped off of him 2 sets.
Yes, he has had a couple that is, apart from those that have been dropped, a couple going in the air from his short pitch deliveries. Oh, I like it. Dindial is playing smart and he's backing away. Lover, coming from around the wicket, was still able to follow him with that delivery going down the leg side. It says something about Lovell's thinking, because it was a late move and it was a short one. Had to get under it. This is really good stuff, Dave. This is like a mini test match.
Yeah, well, I said he has to be somewhere near the end of his spell, so he doesn't need all his backing away and all that kind of stuff. He needs to just stand up and bat.
And he comes down the track.
Yes, he's advancing down the track again. I don't know why, what reason. But he seems to know best.
Well, so these are the things that the coaches would look at and call you into the dressing room. In the days gone by, when you read what the players of old speak about, sometimes they would invite, the captain would invite the player to dinner. Say, let's have dinner together. They would have a talk, and then they talk it over. But coaches nowadays, they're there. Oh, and that one was following him, and he got himself into a tangle there, Dave Joseph. He's backing away for the second time. What's the thought? What's going on? We're just, another 11 minutes away from lunch? His team still requires his presence. They are still behind by 84 runs. De Pisa does the right thing, calls him down, have a conversation. Backing away. And he's been followed, and he's still trying to play the ball into the offside.
I'm clueless, said at this point.
It's not concentration, it's a battle between the two. What is it? He steps forward and he gets a good one. Gets a good one. Coming forward, and Lovell had the presence. This guy, Lovell, I love him, Dave.
Yeah, as I said, he looks pretty strong from the first time I saw him. And he showed us that he had that bit of pace. And now he's showing us that he has that bit of depth. He's been able to bowl a long spell.
From around the wicket, look at this. He steps forward, then the bouncer, yes. He said, come off of me, Lovell.
Yeah, he got him on his armpit. Yeah, that's a good place to be as a fast bowler.
Lovely saying, I didn't call you. Where are you going?
He'd be advised to stay there, stay in his crease. Don't advance down the track.
Oh, gets another short one, and this man can bowl them all over. It doesn't matter how many go over the shoulders, because he's not in his position in the crease. He's walking forward. So Lovell has, man, this is really cricket.
Well, it speaks well about the pitch, that it still
Yes.
has a bit of juice in it. Something
Yes.
that's there for the bowlers
Anthony
even
Merrick.
on the fourth day.
Anthony Merrick may say, I'm a fast bowler. I would never prepare anything biased for the batters, but the pitch is so good that when the batters stand up, they are certain. So if this were a test match, we would have had a result. Oh, that one was quick, but that one was steaming over the head. Lovell keeping Dindial honest in this over. Had to bob and weave on 2 occasions, and one of the time had to take a little blow. Good contest, Dave.
Well, that's what it's all about. You got to bob and weave a bit, take a few knocks, and hang in there for your team. It will get easier once you're there. Set.
So, 92 for 2. Game of high scores. Guyana Harpy Eagles, after West Indies Academy won the toss, chose to bat on the first day. They compiled 423 on the first day, and then went on to make 485. Guyana Harpy Eagles 663 batted from the second day into this, the fourth day. West Indies Academy now finding themselves under a little bit of pressure, because they would start the innings trailing at 178. Now they're trailing by 84. And Lovell for Guyana Harpy Eagles has been impressive. Young, impressive, strong, fast bowler for the West Indies Academy. They have had starts. Evelyn didn't really do as we expected. Just had one. They lost their first wicket with a score on 2. Then a 50 partnership between Mbiki Joseph and Mavendra Dindial. Mbiki Joseph, we expected that he would have batted on, but he did not do that. We thought he gave it away. Was set up for that pull shot and gave Niall Smith a catch. off the bowling of Lovell. Lovell who had the 2 wickets. Since then it has been Javonte De Pisa who comes forward to this batting with the very adventurous Mavendra Dindyal, who is on 38. Dindyal scored 45 in the first innings, so he would need to at least get a half century. You'd want to be thinking about that. Himself and De Pisa would be thinking about lunch. That may be the first thought, because, well, that over has been completed. It's a maiden from Veerasamy Permaul, 94 for 2. And with that over being completed, I reckon that we may get in at least 2 more overs, especially, well, Lovell will not bowl. Lovell has come to the end of a good spell, 9 overs, 2 for 56, and the figures may not speak as to how well he has bowled, because he had a catch dropped off him. He also twice had opportunities against the Pisa ball, and also against Dindyal, one bubbling over third man in the air from a wonderful bounce, another of the Pisa going into the offside to short cover. There was no fielder there to take the catch, so he could have gotten 3 or 4 wickets easily in that spell. It was really a tremendous spell running up the hill here from the southern end. Now we have seen for the first time in this innings, Richie Locknott will take over from Lovell from the southern end. Will they sprint back for the second? Yes, they're coming back for it. And Van Lan, who is on the boundary, had to run around a long way from deep back of the square to fine leg. So Locknott had 3 wickets in the first innings, and he would like to add to that. They're just jogging through for another single. Tej Narayan Chandapol on the long leg boundary. He's comfortable, just feeling that one. Well, they will get a single. That one came from the foot of Veerasamy Permaul. Didn't feel cleanly. So earlier we spoke about the high scores, the top 6, which is the case in this innings. There were 3 other high scores in the top 10, which we would get to before the over is completed. Trinidad and Tobago versus the Leeward Islands, 613 for 5, right here at the Antigua Recreation Grounds, 1983-84. It was a drawn encounter here. I believe some of those veterans were playing. Locknott completes the over, and then 526 for 8. Leeward Islands versus the Windward Islands, and guess what? It was right here at the Antigua Recreation Grounds, 1989-1990. But it was a game which the Leewards won. And then, right here at the Antigua Recreation Grounds, 522 for 9. Trinidad and Tobago, that time, posting that score against the Leeward Islands right here at St. John's. And that was in this tournament, in a drawn game just a few weeks ago. So you've heard all the big scores, and those top scores were at this ground, but the highest, you would have seen that 663 for the Harpy Eagles in this encounter against the West Indies Academy. Veerasamy Permaul continues his work. And now Dave Joseph, they are looking as though they're settling, thinking about lunch.
Yeah, well, you'll need to at least take your team into lunch without losing another wicket set. And as you say, the Guyanese attack will have different views. They'd want to grab another wicket or two before they go into lunch. I'd rather see him. Is it Dindial? Yeah, this is yeah.
Well,
Dindial.
Pisa is facing
Well,
now, but
I'd rather
Dindial.
see him playing Palmer on the front foot. He's got that delivery that skids onto you. You know, and this last day, Chuck, you'd want to be on your front foot playing, rather than allowing the ball to stay down and skid onto you there. That's it. Get up on your front foot.
So it's 11:59. 3 deliveries remaining in this over.
I think it's 2.
Yes. So we may get in another. Sammy Promotional. No, the umpires, they are professionals. They may have a different watch or a different clock.
No, it looks like it's
than
going to
my
be
cell
lunch,
phone.
based on the signal I saw from
Umpire
umpire,
Brathwaite looking at
Brathwaite,
his watch
yeah.
at square leg. Oh, an appeal, but it
That's
was all bad for Sammy Promotional, and it's a lunch here on the 4th and final day. The West Indies Academy batting the second time, 98 for 2. You see already Dindial. Well, it's not lunch.
No, it's going
I
to be
took my eyes off the ball.
It's going to be lunch.
Well, now the players were going and retreated, and then now Gregory Brathwaite removed the bails. The picture is a partnership building here between Majinda Dindial and Javonte De Pisa. De Pisa on 22, Dial on 41. We'll want to get out of the 40s. It is 98 for 2, and they trail by 80 runs. We will see you in 35 minutes' time. We trust that you would have a good lunch wherever you are viewing. Well, but don't go to lunch yet, remember. Action in Jamaica, action in Kingston, action at Sabina Park, the West Indies versus Sri Lanka. 3 ODIs, CG United action between the West Indies and Sri Lanka. June 3, 6, 8. And then 3 ODIs, June 11, 13, and 14. But listen here, the play zone, it's back. The player zone or the entertainment zone is back. We would just like you to do something. Get your tickets, go online, check windiescricket.com, or you may well check out the Facebook page or the other social media handles at Windies Cricket, and you will get all the information. But we trust that you get down to Sabina Park, get to the games, and watch the Maroons against the Lankans in these 6 matches. See you there.
This is TJ the Up Top Boss representing, and I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T20 we are give them boy them, and you see me? A 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes, you don't know, fully loaded, fun zone for the entertainment and everything, pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up Top Boss representing. I make me turn up in ya. Boom. This is TJ the Up Top Boss representing, and I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T20 we are give them boy them, and you see me? A 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes, you don't know, fully loaded, fun zone for the entertainment and everything, pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up Top Boss representing. And I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T20 we are give them boy them, and you see me? A 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes, you don't know, fully loaded, fun zone for the entertainment and everything, pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up Top Boss representing. I make me turn up in ya. Boom. This is TJ the Up Top Boss representing, and I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T20 we are give them boy them, and you see me? A 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes. You don't know, fully loaded fun zone for the entertainment and everything. Pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up Top Boss representing. I make me turn up in ya. Boom. This is TJ the Up Top Boss representing. And I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T20 we are give them boy them, and you see me? A 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes. You don't know, fully loaded fun zone for the entertainment and everything. Pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up Top Boss representing. I make me turn up in ya. Boom. This is TJ the Up Top Boss representing, and I'm telling you that June 3rd to the 14th at Sabina Park, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. A 3 T20 we are give them boy them, and you see me? A 3 ODL, you understand? So turn out and support the thing. So you don't know, visit windiescricket.com for more vibes and everything. Join the vibes. You don't know, fully loaded fun zone for the entertainment and everything. Pizza, food, anything you need. TJ the Up Top Boss representing. I make me turn up in ya. Boom. This is TJ.
So welcome back to the Antigua Recreation Grounds. We are on the final day and we are starting the penultimate session of this day with the West Indies Academy still needing, Dave, another 84 runs, another 80 runs if they're going to stay in the thick of things here. They went into lunch on 98 for 2 and they're really going to need something special, because we have been seeing some good bowling, good fast bowling from Thaddeus Lovell in particular, troubling the batters, but nevertheless they went in with Mavendra Didial on 41 and Javonta Depize on 22, and these two I believe will hold the key. Can they endure Locknott and Promotional? That may well answer the question, and if they do, then they can hold up the Guyanese. First ball.
Yeah, well, Seth, I'll hope that, this pair will hold up the Guyanese attack for the academy's sake and put up a good show.
Well, it's clear we had some concerns with Dean Dial just before lunch, where he was getting anxious and wanted to play a shot per ball. Oh, ooh. Beaten by a beauty, stretching forward, and he goes just after the break again, at the start of play and at the break. Seems to always be the challenge for batters. Over playing himself, stretching forward, and he was beaten by a good delivery. You must give Lock North a lot of credit. Guyana getting the 3rd wicket, and West Indies Academy, they are in a spot of bother.
Yeah, well, he's a bit disappointed, but he'll have to go. The umpires made his decision. And as you say, credit to Locknott.
It was a confident appeal, though, and also credit to Tevin Imlak for bringing back Locknock to start immediately after the interval. Sometimes the spinner may be brought on and then taken off when you resume. Pitched, stretching forward, taken by Imlach, and the rest is history. Dial caught behind by captain and wicketkeeper Imlach off the bowling of Richie Locknott for 41. He'll be disappointed not to have gotten a half century. Came close on both occasions in a game in which run scoring has been the commonality between both teams. Still a good innings. Maybe need to work on patience, need to work some little temperamental issues.
Need to carry on, set the
but
biggest
technically
scores.
sound. Need to carry on the mindset. And
Yeah, he must make mention of Imlach. Good presentation of his gloves just now.
and we speak about wicket keeping, and I think he's a model of it in terms of, you mentioned about how he presents himself. His left foot is exactly at the off stump. He's there, he goes down, and then he positions himself. And I think, it's a lesson for some of the younger wicket keepers. I mean, we have a lot of good wicket keepers around the Caribbean. But when you see Tevin Imlach, not that he's flawless, but you see a consistency as though he's oiled. So at that moment, he's already moving with the ball. But look at that left foot. That left foot is placed to the right-hander, right in line with the off stump, so he has a good view of anything else. And comes up at the right time. There are some wicket keepers, they get up early to the spinner, but he moves with the ball.
With the bounce of the ball.
Exactly. So, good bit of masterclass from Imlach. And now, we're going to see Moti for the first time. Dave?
Yeah, it's...
So we're going to see Moti.
Yeah, it's interesting. Moti has been introduced pretty early in this innings.
Well, the best time to introduce him is immediately after a wicket. The piece is still there though. And Carlon Boyne Tuckett. I anticipated that, Dave, and you said you wouldn't tinker with the order, that Boyne Tuckett may come ahead of Captain Rivaldo Clark. It would be in the back of the minds of the Guyanese that the two batters who did the damage in the first innings are still to come. I think a little psychological game on the part of Rivaldo Clark and his technical team. Also, Boyne Tuckett didn't score as well. He gets an opportunity now. De Pisa was unsettled in the earlier part of his innings by Thaddeus Lovell. The pace of Thaddeus Lovell. He played some excellent shots though through the offside. But now it's with Moti. Moti, the leading bowler in the regional tournament to date. And the closest to him was Anderson Phillip going into that game between the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force and the Barbados Pride. We have not looked at what has transpired, whether in a little while. But this is a good test for this pair, De Pisa and Boyne Tuckett. They would need to put together a partnership. Pisa negotiates the over well, a maiden over from Gudakesh Moti. In fact, both overs after lunch being maiden overs, so Locknott had a maiden wicket. Let us look and see what the pitch had this morning.
This is the final day of this encounter. Guyana Happy Eagles versus the West Indies Academy. As I said, we have seen quite a bit of runs being scored on this track so far. We've got at least 4 centuries so far. And we're looking forward for even some more runs being scored today. So let's have a look at the pitch report for today. Yeah, this track is basically still it's wearing now, and it's getting a bit rough in some good areas here for the spinners. Let's say maybe Pamal will relish this situation on this pitch, bowling second time around. But it's still a surface that runs can be scored on, and we're seeing some good fast bowling from the West Indies Academy young guys.
So you'd have heard Dave Joseph in his pitch report.
Ooh.
Driven back to the bowler. Unbelievable situation. Carlton Bowen Tuckett launching too far forward, stretching actually, and driving the ball, giving Richie Locknott his second wicket in 2 overs. Striking in the previous over, and now in the second ball of this over, Bowen Tuckett giving it away. 4 wickets down for 98. Guyana Happy Eagles could well be sensing blood. Locknott.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that dismissal again. Yeah, it's a 4th-day pitch set, and you cannot afford to want to drive the balls unless they're right on their eyes. You know, he was stretching and reaching for it. He needs to wait until that ball comes on to him. But well bowled by Locknott.
Yes, and he was trying to hit it through the cover region. The ball held up on him. He got it back to the bowler. So Richie Locknott has the golden arm. A man who breaks partnerships.
Yeah, you made mention of that set from very early on. He's accustomed to breaking partnerships.
And now the captain has to come. The experiment didn't work. Oh, that one may have touched the rough, Dave. You cited that in your pitch report.
Yeah, it's going to be, you know, spin time now. It's using up the rough areas of the pitch.
Not also using his pace well, varying. Oh, are we seeing a repeat? We're seeing, even though he wasn't going, we're seeing Rivaldo Clark playing almost similar to Bowen Tuckett. He didn't connect, but launching out.
Oh, that was a fuller delivery set.
Not attacking the stumps. This time he attacks one that was pulled down, and he pulls it down, but Chandapal stands in the way of a 4, and instead it became 2 runs to get Rivaldo Clark off the mark. The 100 comes up, and the 100 comes up off 23.3 overs. Rivaldo Clark getting off the mark here. Ooh, beaten again. They would be having a tough time at that end. Good over, excellent over from Richie Locknott, following up on the first over after lunch.
Yeah, I think you've got his end right, set in terms of where he's coming from. He's got a strong breeze going across him, going across the field, so the arm ball or the drifter is going to work well for him. And see, I think the ball before Tuckett was out, that's the ball that he bowled, that slide across the batsman.
So an update.
Got him caught wicket keeper.
An update at Coolidge. Trinidad and Tobago. Red Force setting the Barbados Pride 318 for victory. Barbados already losing their opener, senior opener and captain Craig Brathwaite for 4. Jaden Seals nicking him off. Josh De Silva taking it behind the stumps.
I was just about to ask you if you think it's gettable.
But it's gettable. It depends on how you approach it. I am not quite sure how many overs as yet. Just looking at my device. But the last wicket partnership of 33 between Seals and Carripier, that was important. In fact, between not Carripier really, but between Jaden Seals and is it Brian Charles, who was not out 14. That was important. And that is, everyone has to bat, everyone has to play. So the scores would have been Trinidad and Tobago Red Force in the first innings, 333. and 280 in the second innings. Barbados Pride 296 and 18 for 1. And this was after the Barbados Pride was really in dire straits in their first innings. They had lost 6 wickets before they got to 60 runs. And on the back of a good knock by Joshua Bishop, who scored 99 not out, they were able to bridge the gap between both teams. They kept it down to 37 runs. Advantage TNT. They would have to go after this. It may need some resetting of the order because you have guys like Joshua Bishop, you have guys like Kyle Mayers, you have guys like Shamar Springer, who are usually hitters. They would want to chance it, but I guess it depends on how long you'd want to bowl Seals, how long would you want to bowl Anderson Phillip, particularly Seals. Well, Seals came off of a rest, but Phillips has been going all season and has been really doing some overs. But they still have Carey P, a guy who can just plug away at it and bowl negatively.
You also have Hines.
Yes, Terrence Hines, very slippery.
Pretty good stock bowler for them.
They have options because even Jed Gooley and some of the other guys, Jason Mohammed, can, do some little tightening, of things in terms of slow bowling. So the options, we reference Brian Charles, but I see him as a more attacking bowler rather than a defensive bowler. I think the approach for TNT has to be keeping the runs down rather than going after wickets. So 103 for 4. They are struggling, the West Indies Academy. The Pisa is looking solid though. They're behind by 78 runs. Well, I'm telling you, this is a match. This is a match.
Yeah, it's gonna be touch and go.
Ooh!
If they keep losing wickets, it's gonna be easier for the Guyanese bowling attack.
Locknott looks threatening outside the off stump. You see that rough just outside the right-handers off stump. I think Locknott is very accurate. Oh, this is pleasant for the eye. Javonto De Pisa just going back and punching it through the covers. Well played, Dave Joseph.
Yeah, that was an excellent shot. It was a try for shot and he was back in a flash, spanking it through the covers. Yeah, young Clark will face up to Moti.
This is a good test for him. Early in his innings, facing the veteran. He gets 4, Dave. Steering it past the first slip.
Was he steering it or it came off the edge, a thick outside edge?
Well, maybe you're right. May have been cutting and then got the edge. Let's see. Ooh, Cleveland Anderson. It was away from him, and he's a good slip catcher.
No, I think he played it well, sir.
Yes, he did.
That's the shot he normally play. Down behind square there.
Plays it well.
Plays it well.
There's no third man. There is no gully or third slip.
And played it pretty fine too.
He likes to steer. He likes to dab. But it's not about run scoring. He needs to understand at this stage right now. It's about ensuring that you're back in your team out of danger. He knows that because in the first innings, his team was really in trouble. He found a good partner in Amari Goodrich. And they just not only pulled them out of trouble, but took control, took command of that first innings.
Well, we need to score some runs, Seth.
Yes, you need to, but you don't need to be in a hurry.
Ooh.
See the point I'm making?
Ooh.
Believes he's in a hurry, missed it completely. Wanted to go down the ground, or was he playing across the line?
Yeah, it looks like he was trying to get it over mid-wicket.
Yes, he was trying to play it across the line. So the point I'm making about runs, it's about runs, but you're not in a rush. There's no mad rush here.
Yeah, but you'll have to be able to pick off the ones and twos to
That's right.
keep the pressure off.
Well, take the strike, take the boundaries when they're there. There was none there.
Yeah, you can't allow the bowlers to, bowl that balls. It's going to be pressure on you. So you've got to, keep ticking it off.
Yes.
Keep ticking it around.
Just need to calm the nerves. It will be interesting when you have made 180. You want to go now and show that you can at least present another good innings, another half century. A half century, you can take your team once again out of problems. That one kept low. The Pisa has to be careful because he was going back. Perhaps needs to. Right, yes. This time he steers
Steered
it
away.
nicely. We have seen it all in this game. Dave Joseph, 24 wickets. Seamers getting wickets, spinners getting wickets so far in this innings. 2 to Lock North. The off spinner 2 to Lovell. The seam bowler. In the Guyana Happy Eagles innings, 6 for Motara, one man taking 6. Only 2 to the seamers, 1 each for Aldridge and Edward. And then the other 2 also to spinners. So but the fast bowlers have excited us here on this pitch. Now he goes with power and authority over mid-wicket, across the line. And he has made it clear that I am not here to pat things up or to patch things up. I'm here to stamp my authority.
Yeah, well, he's showing that he's not going to be bogged down, Seth. Once the ball is in his area, he's going to play shots.
Good to see a little conference here. Van Lan, Imlak. In fact, not Van Lan, Moti, Imlak. Moti, Imlak, and
Lock North.
Lock North. So our seniors, the 2 senior players, the 2 international players, giving Lock North some advice. But it's just 1-6. I would be happy if I were the off spinner. He hits me for 6. In this situation, I'll be happy that he's attacking.
No, I think you'd want to block the area because I think that's
Precisely.
that's
But I would be happy because
that's his getaway shot. So
he's on the go.
If you block that shot, you'll have to play something differently.
Or caught. Or dropped.
Here we go.
Kevlon Anderson.
Here we go. That's what I'm saying, Seth.
Immediately after that conference, outside the off stump, playing, trying to play down the line, the ball taking the outer half of the bat. Kevlon Anderson in and out. Happy Eagles have dropped a couple of catches, which Lock North dropped one early off the Pisa when the Pisa batted off Lovell. So he ends the over. Had success, but also had disappointment. Coming forward, the ball taking the outer part of the bat. Kevlon Anderson, for some reason, I don't know if he was trying to throw or celebrate, but he had it covered. And then it went to the carpet.
It's never covered until it's covered, Seth.
I like that.
Yeah, you got to make sure you got it.
Got to keep it.
Yeah.
No, it has been agonizing. Sometimes as a bowler, you take a catch and you're about to throw it up. Your bowler caught in the ball. Goes to the carpet, the batsman stands, and he's right.
Yeah, make sure.
Says you're not in control.
Yeah, make sure you have it.
You're looking to show up. I thought that was the matter with Kevlon Anderson on this occasion. So, Happy Eagles, they're injecting life, re-injecting life the possibility of a win into this game. Life is so. Captain went for 6 on the occasion when he decides to be defensive. That's when he almost lost his wicket. So, gotta just back yourself and play. The Pisa though has settled. I think, apart from the jittery start which he had against Lovell, he looks the most assured of the batters that we have seen so far in this innings. Dingyal did score well, but you know, it was a bit here and there in terms of moving up the pitch and walking down to the fast ball and backing away. This is not T20, but he's a good young player. Needs to convert those 40s into 50s and go further.
Yeah, most definitely, he said.
Here is the piece. When he drives, it's usually all along the ground. A good stretch for Lovell to the boundary. Oh, he dives and pulls it back. Pisa wants 3, but Clark does not.
Yeah, I think what's going to be important set for these young batters, especially when they're coming up against Lock North, you've got to make sure you've got that ball covered properly, because he's definitely getting the ball to go with the arm.
As you say, cover it, yes.
You got to cover it properly. You can't just think that you're just going to cover it. You got to make sure you cover it, because he's got that delivery in his repertoire to slide it away from the right-handers.
You're correct. In Bowen Tuckett's case, he looked to have had it covered, but decided to be looking for runs on that occasion, and the ball stuck on him.
No, the pitch is a 4-day pitch, but you still want to make sure that the ball is right on the eyes before you want to drive it. And being a 4-day pitch set, you've got that level of uncertainty in terms of the bounce.
That's right.
Yeah,
the wear and tear.
The wear and tear on the pitch and that kind of stuff. So
it's got to be different than it would have been
for
in
the
the
new
earlier
pitch.
part of the innings.
Yeah, you got to make sure the ball is very close to you before you want to drive.
Locknort is the man, having a discussion with Moti, and this is good. Speaking to the senior pro, and he can only learn, and he volunteered whatever the inquiry that he's having with Moti.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier on, I'd prefer to see these young batters on their front foot instead of being on the back foot at this time, or this stage of the game.
That's right, they have time to adjust when
Yeah,
you're
the
on the
ball's
back foot.
actually sliding
That's right.
low. You got to get up on your front foot. You don't want to be caught at the back.
Precisely. Pop up and the ball keeping low, the option of LBW.
Yeah, that comes into play.
When you're on that back foot. Sometimes the umpire may even, the fact that you're on the front foot, maybe having a look as to whether the ball was deviating, it creates some doubt, but also for your comfort. When you're on the front foot, you can also make the transition. But when you're on the back, Locknor trying to set his field, he's asking Van Land to come to a more conventional mid-wicket. De Pisa blasts that one past Chandapal. And deep mid-on, gets a 4.
Yeah, Moti called for stop it, but Chandapal was not close to it, so it went away for 4.
Well, it was powerfully struck by De Pisa. He went after that. He knew he wanted it. Locknor better at bringing the ball up, pitching it up. He drops short.
Ooh.
He goes after it, could be in trouble here. Moti goes under it, and why, you ask the question. Moti takes the catch. And after 4, you're wondering what is the mindset. He decides that he wants to come over the commentary box perhaps to give us a message with the ball, but instead it falls well short. Locknor takes his 3rd. De Pisa departs on 34. It is a challenging situation for the West Indies Academy. 125 for 4. And Dave Joseph, they're in a big spot of bother here.
Yeah, they want to bat more sensible than this. And you see changing the order again here. It's Edward coming out. I guess they're giving the youngsters a chance to show their mettle by changing the order up a bit.
I think Edward did come in at this stage at 6, and then Goodrich
Okay.
came in, yes, after Edward. But Edward did not last long, so he will be hoping that he can last long and provide his captain the support. Now it's the left and right combination.
Yeah,
which
that's the key to it. Once he can last long enough, he'll be able to upset the bowling for the Guyana Happy Eagles and keep rotating the strike now. This will actually cramp Locknot's deliveries that he's actually getting to slide away from the right-hander. So he'll be coming into Edward, which would make it easier for him. But he still has that one that turns
yes,
into the right-handers and will be going away from the left-hander now.
Edward seems to be taking an off-stump guard. So the left hand, he's coming from around the wicket. I like this approach. Here's a short leg. Would you have gone for another fielder under the helmet on the offside to apply some pressure on young Edward early?
Yeah, I would probably put in a second slip. Not in front really. I haven't seen much balls popping and bouncing really, but he's getting it to spin.
Covers up well. He has done what you have advised. Play on the front foot.
Yeah, you need to stay on the front foot. Keep your eyes on the ball, stay on the front foot. You don't want to be caught on the back foot and then getting LBW at all. Yeah, so Moti will continue.
So to keep listeners abreast what is happening at Coolidge, it's what? Now 25 for 1. Barbados chasing 318 for victory. They have what, 2 sessions. But Guyana, they know that they will be playing in the final. No one knows against whom yet or against which team.
Oh, that's down the leg side. Appeal for leg before.
But they know how important this wicket is, so they will be appealing.
Yeah, as I said, I was watching this delivery early on when I think it was the Pisa batting, and I think they were actually allowing these deliveries from Moti and Palmer to come too far down into the crease. You've got to meet it out on the front foot a bit more. Mitigate that spin and, you know, trying to rule out the leg before.
So the final is coming up on Sunday at the Sir Viv Richards Cricket Grounds. And we're hoping that it gets good support. We're hoping that all the promotion goes well. It's important to set a cue knowing that there are 2 test matches coming up in June against Sri Lanka. This final could be a nice launching pad to start that promotional. Edward coming forward.
One thing I must say, Seth, I don't think we have seen any balls being struck straight down the ground for 6 or 4. Most of them have been going onside through the covers, you know, and
That's
I think
notable.
once you start to play the cross batted shots with a
You
low
get yourself
pitch,
in trouble.
a low pitch, yeah, you're going you're going to be in some trouble. I think
Apart from
Joseph got out with a delivery like that, being straight on his thumbs and trying to go across it.
But apart from the Pisa, who really was trying to belt that one out of the ground for some reason, the others have been going away. Good shot by Edward. He gets off the mark. They came through for a quick single. The captain has to be the pressure cooker. He must be the one absorb all that heat, because he did it in the first innings, and now it's got to be on him. The survival of the West Indies academy.
Well, he looks good so far, so let's hope he can continue and bat deep.
And that's one thing with him. When it's a bad ball, he's going to launch at it.
Yeah, he's going to have a go.
He really wanted to hit that one. He kept a bit low. Realized it was a bit short. It's going down leg. He wanted to score, capitalize on the bad delivery. Over ends. Locknort's 7th. He has 3 for 25. He's really been bowling well. Both the Pisa and Dindial maybe say if, but if won't help them.
Yeah, you're already back in the pavilion. Set. I always try to impress upon my young players when I'm coaching them. Said if you want to be a batsman, you got to stay between the stumps, out in the middle.
That's important.
Yeah, once you walk back across the line into the dressing room, you become a spectator.
That's right.
So
Sometimes.
batters stay in the middle. You're a spectator when you're in the dressing room.
Sometimes you're in agony.
Yeah.
How you got out, or boy, I should be out there with that type of bowling. That's all you can say. Oh, Edward goes now. Edward goes.
Caught at slip.
Driving loosely outside the off stump. And this time on the second attempt, Kevlon Anderson did the trick. So it looks as though once again it will be a Rivaldo Clark, Amari Goodrich.
Clark's expression.
Clark would not be happy with the dismissal of Nathan Edwards.
Yeah, it was a pretty loose shot set. You know, again, let's have a look.
It's a top line bowler. Gudakesh Moti. Ooh, and he just went, wanting to drive it through Kevlon Anderson on the second attempt. But the captain is upset. He just turned his back on the proceedings. Again, it comes back down to these two. Aldridge will be joining his captain. Nathan Edward. Oh, he just wanted to put bat on ball. But in the context of what is happening, he should have realized that his team needs him. The team is in a spot of bother.
Not only the context set of what's happening, but as I mentioned earlier on, you cannot drive the ball from the middle of the pitch. You've got to get the ball on the eyes, get your foot, your head into position, and then drive. It's too far back for driving on a 4th-day pitch.
126 for 6. Goodrich shows how it should be done. Big diving effort from Lovell.
It's 4.
Would not stop the boundary. Immediately Goodrich shows why he got 100 on first innings. And
yeah, I think he started the same way he started in the first innings set.
And the two batters here.
Off the back foot is pretty dominant.
These are the two who made the difference in the first innings. They came in at 169 for 6 that time. Now it is 1. They came in at 126 for 6. It's now 130 for 6. This time he comes forward. He's not daunted by Moti. Stands up straight. Moti. One thing with him, he's very decisive, and that's a crisp stroke. He's going for it. He's not going to be careless.
Yeah, he has good touch on the ball set, definitely.
Defends now. Back to the bowler. It's good over from Gudakesh Moti.
Yeah, an excellent over from Moti. If you notice that he was actually bowling some really quick deliveries.
Yes, varying the pace, which I think is
So
important.
he actually built pressure on the batters, bowled quite a few dot balls, and then he was managed to slide that one just a little wide of Edward and got a wicket, caught a slip. So good thinking by
Scorecard
the
not,
experienced campaigner, Moti.
scorecard not reading the way the academy would want it to read. 3 single-digit performances. And those that got into double figures just failed to carry on. And if you don't carry on, your team would be in trouble. Leaders, they're still in deficit by 48 runs. Clark and Goodrich seeking to repair the damage. First wicket fell at 2. That was Evelyn. The second at 55. That was Mbeki Joseph. The third at 98. That was Dial. And then, ooh, outside the off stump looks vulnerable. Locknott is picking a spot. Is picking a spot outside the off stump.
Yeah, that's pretty lazy on behalf of Goodrich. That's you need to get on his front foot and play. Yeah, that's it.
The fourth wicket at 98 again. So 2 at 98. That was Boyne Tuckett. The fifth at 125. That was DePisa. And the sixth at 126. Ooh, that one kept low, but then did the right thing.
Yeah, he was to good measure of it.
And was in control. So the issue here for the academy is that when they lose 1 wicket, they're losing 2. So 2 at 98, 1 at 125, 1 at 126.
They're losing wicket in clusters.
Precisely, and they need to ensure they at least have partnerships. That completes another Richie Locknott over. And the academy still would be ruining the loss of those 6 wickets. They thought they would have had a measure of ease looking at a draw, but now they're fighting to stave off defeat.
Well, you have to remember that it was this play who actually saved them in the first inning, so all is not lost.
Lightning may not strike twice at the same time, Dave.
You never know. But they lead Lightning to strike at the same place.
Yes, certainly they would need it.
Yeah.
Another one from Amari Goodrich. Just to the right of Chandapal. But he would tell you he was in command. Quite a confident young batter.
Yeah, that's Nando, not Chandapal, in at the mid-wicket.
Nando.
A short mid-wicket area.
That's correct. Chandapal at backward point. Well, Nando wouldn't mind. Such a pleasant personality. You look at the young players out there. Correct Goodrich. Nando comes to you as this very easygoing person who wants to get on and get along with his game. It has been a pleasure interviewing him a few times.
Yeah, well, you'll need that sort of composure and that sort of aura about your set to be an open bat. You know, played against quite a few players, and sometimes they're easy. You can get under their skins very easy, and that makes it even easier for you to get them out.
That's right. You find ways of doing that. Clark knows he has his work cut out.
Well, Clark will need to prove that Lightning will be able to strike at the same place twice, Seth,
Yes, he may prove me wrong.
to save his team.
I was just repeating an old saying, but in spite of that, I'm the one who noted it. Over comes to an end, and it will be really a test. So Dave, just a recap of some of the outstanding performances. We saw it from these two in the first innings. A good 100, solid one by Rivaldo Clark, getting 180, and
Goodrich.
getting 123, his first-class 100. Then the Guyana Happy Eagles, an excellent innings from
Nando.
Matthew Nando. He batted from the beginning. He looked as though he wanted it. He was overnight on 110 on the second day. He said he was going to try and bat every ball. He batted until he got to his 237. But also, the man who did it on debut. Well, Nando did it on debut years ago. But then comes Jonathan Van Lang, the national table tennis player. Oh, off the pad, not out, says the umpire. And they did enjoy, Van Lang did enjoy his 100. The same way, Matara enjoyed his 5-wicket haul. He eventually got 6. They usually say a 5-wicket haul is equivalent to 100. So we have seen it. And this morning, we have seen Lovell enjoying a wonderful 9-over spell. He got 2 wickets, was struck about a bit, but we really saw a man thinking and a man on a mission with purpose. Oh, this is danger for Goodrich. But it was a poor throw from Lovell, the man we spoke about. And
yeah, luckily for Goodrich. A very poor throw from Lovell. He was all the way down in no man's land.
he would have been a goner.
Yeah. Well, they've had a chat and hopefully they've sorted things out in between them.
You
Clark.
didn't see that between them in the first inning.
No, not really.
Shows where the pressure is now.
Yeah, I think we saw a very good run in between the wicket set when they batted in the first innings. The West Indies Academy. Yeah, so Moti's going to continue. He'll be bowling to Goodrich. Yeah, it will be interesting to make note of set that which end the most runs have been scored from.
That's an interesting thought.
What I'm seeing and I'm realizing that whenever the balls are being pitched straight, we haven't seen much runs at all being scored from those. Those have been go down at dot balls.
good test of character for young Rivaldo Clark. We have had 157 fours and 18 sixes in this match. And it was a 6 wanting to go for 6 that caused the dismissal of Giovanni Di Pisa. He was batting so well. He wanted to add a 6 to his score. Same thing with Mbeke Joseph. So there is a time for 6 hitting and a time for being more subdued or being more cautious reading the game situation.
Yeah, I think I'm, picking up something here. Said I'm thinking that Clark is much more comfortable to Moti than Goodrich, and that's something you need to work on as batters and in batsmanship and batting in partners. Maybe you need to have Clark facing more of Moti's deliveries. It looks that way to me.
Well, they could also work it out among themselves because you bat in a team. This man Lovell, he is. We were speaking about Pittman a couple of days ago, how he in the field running around hard even though he has to bowl. You've seen that with Aldridge, you've seen, but this man Lovell, he tried to dive to pull back one, going to the boundary there, and he's doing it again, and it's a very, very hard outfield. They've been having drought in Antigua for a while.
As I said, these guys have been able to field in any position, said. Diving around the carpet, saving runs.
They're playing wholehearted cricket.
They should.
They're wholehearted about what they're doing. Sometimes with fast bowlers, they say, well, you don't expect the fast bowler to go down there.
Yeah, we are seeing a change in the field now. 2 slips. Or a slip and a gully for Locknott, which tells you that he's going to look to slide that ball across the right-hander. But I would rather see him up against Locknott, as I mentioned earlier on.
Needs to watch the drift. Not only the ball off the wicket, off the rough, but he's getting some drift. Again, we speak about the wind factor.
Yeah, going
when
across,
you do that, precisely the ball could hang up in the wind and then drifts away. So he has to be careful. The wind picks up. There are times when you are batting and you pay attention to the environment, what's going on around you, outside of the ball issue, and that impacts decision making.
Yeah, you definitely got to pay attention to your environment and your surroundings, what's happening. That will, impact, as you say, what's going to happen.
You see that eastern side where the trees are, that's the east, the background of that orange area where the schoolboy stand used to be, and then the other area to the left of your screen is the northern area. Sometimes you get the northeasterly trade wind, so it comes across, and the other time you get it also coming from southeast. When you are at the Viv Richards Stadium, the difference, it comes directly from the east. So you may be in the same country, a few miles from each other. It differs. You're at Coolidge and you're right at the north apex of the island. Moti, what a sport, man. When the others are appealing, he's always signaling it's going down.
Yeah, well, he knows what he delivers, Seth.
Yes.
Yeah. Obviously, he's been chucking his balls.
Oh, well swept. He has that. He did that in his innings of 180, and you're right, he's comfortable with Moti.
Yeah, he's definitely more comfortable facing to Moti than Goodrich is. So, not that you're going to be locked down to one end, but I think that once you get the footworks going and the blood pumping, then Goodrich will be able to handle. But for starters, he looks as if he's better at that end.
And he favors the paddle sweep. Now he must be watchful because a fielder that Nando has been precisely. So hopes that he's paying attention. Sometimes you'd have played a shot and you go for a repeat. You have to look around the field again and take some mental notes. stretches right out. Exactly what Dave Joseph was saying.
Yeah, if you
He
notice,
must cover the ball.
he's
cover
not allowing the balls to come all the way down into the crease. He's getting out to it, and that's the right approach.
He's playing big man cricket.
Yeah, that's it. No.
He's given LBW. Rivaldo Clark and the Shackles. Wow.
Yeah, let's have a look at that again.
147 for 7. And the West Indies Academy captain goes.
Yeah, it looked pretty straight set. I think that might have been the Chinaman too. Didn't turn much, but was pretty straight.
Gudakesh Moti gets his second, the 7th wicket of the innings. Guyana Harpy Eagles, they are celebrating because of this. Yes.
Yeah, that was the orthodox one. I thought it was the Chinaman, but it was orthodox, yeah.
But it was definitely pitch on wicket. It was between, looks to me, between.
It didn't have much turn on it either.
Yes.
Just
Pitch
held its own and kept going.
Leg, so out comes Matara. What do you do now if you're Amari Goodrich? Do you find the strike, or do you allow the other batters to do what they have to do?
Well, he has got to keep going. I think he'd have to trust his other batters, hope they can hang around for a while.
They still trail by 31 runs.
Yeah, that's quite a little distance away too.
And there are 31 overs after this. Plus you have the final hour, the final 15 for the final hour. So it's a lot of time left in this game. And the sun is got to be shining after 6 here. So the Harpy Eagles, they are looking. You look at this, you'd be saying, what has gone wrong? Good bowling by the Harpy Eagles has gone right.
Yeah, I think some of the shots that were played by the young
Yes,
academy
the earlier
guys
ones, shot selection.
were pretty irresponsible.
While that is happening,
Banged
Goodrich
before.
is showing his class.
Yeah, he plays it with such ease.
Such is no slug. I haven't seen him going out slugging or going out swinging.
Not at all.
Always measured, middling the ball, confident. Yesterday, Kefar was telling us about all the cricket in Trinidad and Tobago. And I really enjoyed that discourse, that discussion about the structure, and not only about the structure, about the amount of cricket and about how it is organized. And I think it's a platform. You know, I'm not quite sure the model of the other region, of the other country.